I'm sure if you go to Antarctica, you see a Ghanaian there. Yeah. And yesterday they were at the stadium in their thousands. There were a lot of, I had friends who were sending me videos of Ghanaians outside the stadium because
Did you check the stadium attendance? The record that showed?
Yeah.
Charlie, they were there massive.
Of course, the Boston Stadium is not the biggest at the World Cup, but I think it takes in about 60,000 thereabouts, and it was full. But the videos he was even sending me were the Ghanaians who were outside the stadium because they couldn't get a ticket or they couldn't afford a ticket. It's very expensive, these World Cup tickets. And some of them too came there with the hope of, they thought they were in Accra, that they'll get somebody who.
I know someone even at the entrance.
They were just waiting where they
will
get there at some point. You think you're in Accra? They don't open free gate there, so that they'll just find their way. And they were celebrating after the game, like
you know. The people that surprised me the most that Ghana will lose the match. Accra FM.
No, that's what I'm saying. That
Accra FM
on paper.
No. I think.
Accra FM then I brought for Kwame.
Oh.
Kwame. Accra FM food.
No, I think Accra FM was only stating the obvious.
Yeah. On paper. Where I saw the game.
There was no way we were going to.
Where I saw the game, there were
England.
people who were. Omeche in 7. That kind of thing. That relax. The game has not even started. Relax, because nobody gave us a chance.
Yeah.
Where I was, maybe it was just about 2 people who said, even that one they said we will draw.
Yeah.
They didn't say we win.
Yeah.
Where I was, nobody said we would even win. It said a lot about what we had vis-a-vis what the English had. So for me, when we got the points, I was happy. If they had beaten us, it wouldn't be any news.
Yeah.
At
a point in time, so because of the fact that I watched here in the Accra FM newsroom, I was telling them that if they go past first half, then it will be anybody's game.
But the second half,
no, for me, what do you make of the second half?
The second half was like tough, like they were
we took the game to them.
Like on Ghana, like crazy.
Especially
Sorry, did so well.
Charlie,
I was.
You didn't have that vim.
Let's hope in Benjamin Asare because I think this is his first time going to the World Cup. So I thought.
Charlie, but the guy left a clean sheet, Kwame.
So well,
he left a clean sheet
against the.
Yeah. The 3 Lions of England.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And you know what he said? Yeah. So when they spoke with him, it was like, going against Hurricane. It was normal. It was normal. Charlie, I like that confidence. Normal. It's not like a keeper. It's not like a keeper who caught Cristiano Ronaldo's ball and he was celebrating.
Incidentally, he was there. Yeah. You don't like fire.
But you know what?
Let me give you fire to taking a liking to the song. So the French players like the song a lot. They've been playing in their dressing room. I don't even know if they understand what is being said. But
no, it's the dance. I think it's the dance. And the fact that there's something about the beat that catches you.
Oh, okay.
You listen to it. You see, African beat has taken over. You listen to it and you can't help but to dance. You get
I think it's also easy to tag along.
Exactly.
Even if you don't get the words,
exactly.
At least you follow the
follow the
rhythm
songs. African songs are just about dancing. That's all. That's that's
why the white man cannot dance.
The white man on Saturday.
Yes, Saturday. Yes, against Croatia. Yes,
3 days from now.
Yeah.
Oh, Vim Day.
Yeah.
10 p.m. or 9.
Is it?
I think 10.
I'll have to check. It's either 8 or 9. One of them.
9.
Yeah,
and
either
this
8
was
or 9.
And this was 8.
Yeah, this was 8.
9.
Yeah. So either 8 or 9 thereabouts. So Saturday the area.
So what are our chances?
Oh, at this point, the pressure is off us. So I'm sure it would be another very, Okay, if we lose, then now we would focus on what has happened in the other groups. England. Because you could still finish third and qualify. Okay. In the past, it's only the top 2 that qualify. But now, because the numbers have been increased, you could still finish third. At this point, we have done more than enough to finish third. So we'll see what will happen in the other groups. That will determine 2 things. 1, whether we've qualified or not. And then 2, who would play if we have qualified.
And I learned that the same time you'll be playing, that's when England and Panama was
in the final round of games, competitions like this, that's what the organizers do. So that there are no funny things, because the outcome of one game may impact on another game. Okay. So in every group, the matches will be played concurrently, as in the same time.
So it means at this stage, Panama is out.
Oh yes, because they've lost all their 2 matches.
No matter what they do, if they win against England, they are not qualified.
No, because they have 0 points. England have 4 now. Ghana have 4. Croatia have 3. So even if they beat England, they will still have only 3 points, and it will not be good enough.
So why is England on the top of the ranking?
Okay, because they've won 1 and drawn 1. So if you win a game, you get 3 points. If you draw, you get 1 point. So because they've won 1 and drawn 1, they have 4 points. Just like Ghana, we've also won 1 and drawn 1. We have 4 points. Okay. But the reason why the English are ahead of us is that they have what we call a better goal difference. They have scored more goals than Ghana at this year's competition. So that's why they are top. So if things change in the final group of groups,
President Mahama should have declared today a holiday.
As what?
That is where
so that the celebration continues.
That is where Lizzie.
President Mahama should have declared today a holiday.
More holidays.
No.
Lizzie, get into the papers for me.
At this point, if they come home,
Charles, your mic is
I'm
off.
proud of them.
Charles, your mic is off. Lizzie, get into the papers for me.
The daily graphic on the front page is just the Black Stars, and the back page is also the Black Stars. So
of course,
the Black Stars take giant steps, neutralizes England with masterclass display. It has Hurricane could not penetrate a solid Ghanaian defense with Thomas Partey. We didn't mention Partey much, but he did so well.
Charlie, and the way he fixed in the midfield, that is fixed style. It was Charlie.
At the helm of midfield and control, it has the picture of Hurricane and that of Thomas Partey. Then if you go to the back page of the daily graphic, it has some Ghanaians jubilating. The picture of Caleb Irinchi here, and also the Black Star goalkeeper Benjamin Asare punches the ball in his penalty area. Then Jerome Opoku also celebrates after the final whistle and has a picture of the coach here at the back page. So Kwame, that's all.
Okay, so let me do a few more and then we'll get into the stories. The front page of the Custodian newspaper has the Akumensa proposes mining revenue sharing formula. The full story is on page 6. Wijak Bawe MP's eye surgery initiative benefits as second batch gets to enjoy from that. Probe $208 million drug bust in Team Fojo presses for answers on alleged links to Ghana. Also on the front page, AG justifies District Assembly's common fund payments into MP's personal accounts. Government money, you put it in a personal account of a member of parliament, and the Attorney General is justifying this. These people, they have no shame. In Sawama, the Algeria constituents benefit from an Odonpre eye surgery project. The full story is on page 5. Let me move on to other papers. The front page of the Daily Guide newspaper. Court grants Kwadwo 8 others 4.5 million Ghana cedi bail. Adjo breaks silence. Bullets, glass fragments lodged near my brain. Baumia presidency coming, Afuko declares. And also on the front page, electricity tariffs go up by 3.49%, water by 0.85%. The full story story is on page 5. And Gold Board introduces new pricing regime. The full story is on page 3. The story on Gold Board has also found its way to the publisher. Gold Board unveils trading reforms. Yes. Hey, we just mentioned his name and he's popped up.
Anyway.
Kujosafo, 8 others get 4.5 million bail is also on the front page of the publisher newspaper. Let me move on to the news center. Flat scale 18 displays 9,000 in the central region. Interior Ministry suspends all private licensed firearms. The Gold Board story has found its way here as well. To the front page of the Daily Statesman newspaper, Bawumia presidency is coming. Afoko declares with bold 3 years plan to rescue the NPP. The full story is on page 2. And Minority Leader fumes over discriminatory NDC and the president's meeting. Government suspends all firearm licenses, introduces stricter controls, and Charles BC rejects calls for case withdrawal, demands full trial. The full story is on page 6 of the paper. To the Republic Press, Minority rejects tariff hikes, calls for utility price reduction, and government holds firearm licenses nationwide. Blackstar shock England, hold the 3 Lions to a stalemate. That's also here. The front page of the Source has a story of the funds being paid into MP's private. Doc is here. What a moment for Doc to show up. Doc will come and explain to me why we should be paying state funds into MP's private accounts for developmental projects or whatever they call it. Doc, you help us with that one because I know you have some details on that. On the front page of the Chronicle newspaper, CSO's loud myths investment in electrochem. Where has this man been? Kofi Kapito. He's found his way to the front page of the paper. And preparatory school at Amomole turns pupils into beggars. Oh, this is so sad. I want power back for the NPP, according to Paul Afotku, who wants to be chairman of the party. The Business and Financial Times has on its front page Stanchart hosting inaugural Digital Assets Summit in Accra, with a photo of the event here. Rising yields, firmer inflation, forex pressures, test market optimism. The full story is on page 3. To the Metro Lens newspaper, review Disability Acts, and yesterday was a big conversation in Parliament. I followed a few comments of Majority Leader Mahama Yariga on that. Kantanka family feud, I have never owned a gun. Ajwasafo says so. The full story is on page 3. On the front page of the Searchlight, the game plan worked. Ghana extend historic unbeaten record against England after stalemate in 2026 World Cup clash. And then you have the issues with the Safo family also finding its way here. This is a family matter, they should deal with it. On the front page of the Daily Post, the Ghana Medical Trust Fund seeks media partnership to boost awareness on NCD health care. They've been going on a media tour in recent days. We'll be looking at that. On the front page of the Ghanaian Times newspaper, transport crisis deepens. Long queues, high fares, delays hit commuters. We'll be hoping to get the guys from Metro Mass in the studio very shortly to answer to our questions. It's been very difficult getting them on the phone to address why they are using the buses for intercity when we actually campaign for intracity, but they've been defending it on the phone. When you call them, when you try to get them to speak to you publicly, they'll tell you we'll get back to you. So we'll keep hammering on that. On the front page of the Informer newspaper, Rawlings was selfless, according to President Mahama. And Otufo says, I am apolitical after meeting a Ghanaian resident in Canada. Let me quickly have a look at some stories on the Class FM online portal. 9 granted 500,000 bail in Ajwasafo shooting case. As here, Joe Metal unveils Sunny Gold partnership ahead of Praise Reloaded 2026. Family considers overseas treatment for Ajwasafo after shooting incidents. Black Stars battle England for World Cup top sports. Okay, at this point it's 4-4. There are stories in the world of business, there are stories in the world of entertainment, and then of course a lot of stories are concerning the World Cup. Let me wrap up the segment with some stories on the High Street Journal, which normally reports on a lot of stories of interest, and that's why we have incorporated that into our newspaper review segment as well, and look at all the big stories on that particular online portal reporting a thing or two. Yeah, sometimes the internet will just act funny, but as and when we are able to get through with that, we would get in there. So let's get into the conversations with the team. Charles is here. Doc has joined us. Liz is also in the studio. Okay, so we've got the High Street Journal opening now. Black Stars holdout against England. That is here. 300,000 graduates, too few jobs. The growing battle for private sector NSS slots is here. Nobody wants public sector after you knew. If you finish, don't retain you. SEC orders online investment platforms to register amid rising fintech risk. Africa's clean energy paradox. UN chief questions why a resource-rich continent gets 2% of global investments. That's a question for the gods. Accra hosts first Russian film festival as cultural diplomacy opens new economic and creative pathways for Ghana's film industry. The story is here. No one can do this alone. World Bank calls for strong coalition to solve Africa's youth jobs crisis. They don't have to call for anything. We have lazy leaders who don't create any opportunities for anybody. From classroom to career, why Ghana's economic future depends on bridging education career gap. There are a lot of stories on this portal. Cannabis industry questions dollar-pegged licensing fees as investment concerns grow. We had the guys in the studio, I recall somewhere last year, to talk about the cannabis business. And I remember Doc said he would register his business. He will tell us whether he's been able to finish with the paperwork to do the business. The flaw in Ghana's digital asset regulatory ecosystem, a looming regulatory dichotomy, is also here. There are a number of stories on mining-related issues, labor-related issues here as well. Ghana's economic transformation agenda demands real youth visibility, according to Minister of Youth George Apariado. An investigator says NSB never received cyber defense system despite 49.1 million Ghana cedi payments. This country, one day will tell our story. Anyway, these are the stories on the various portals and that of the front pages of the newspaper. So, guys, let's get into the stories. Charles, let me start with you. What are we looking at?
So, if you check the Daily Graphic this morning, a number of stories actually center on the National Democratic Congress. Aside the fact that the Black Stars is in there, the National Democratic Congress is captured widely in the newspaper this morning. But before that, let me bring you up to speed with the story. Of course, it's got to do with Ghana's Ghana amnesty and the fact that Ghanaians were called upon and people who had guns in their possession that needed to be regularized to, for want of a better word, surrender them to the states. And in that regard, so Interior Ministry revokes all firearm permits, directs fresh licensing under stricter safety regime. The story by Joshua Bediakon Kumsin on page 13 of the Daily Graphic this morning says that the Ministry for the Interior has revoked all firearm permits in the country and directed all licensed gun owners to undergo a fresh registration process as part of new measures to strengthen public safety. The Sector Minister Muntaka Mubarak, who announced the directive, said it followed a worrying rise in suicides involving legally registered firearms and incidents in which licensed weapons had been used for criminal activities. Addressing a press conference in Accra yesterday, Mr. Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak said all existing firearm license holders would be required to re-register their weapons under a stricter regime that would introduce mandatory mental health assessment. Mandatory mental health assessment, drug screening, and firearms competency training. So, Kwame, that's the detail to do with that story. And so it means that if you have any gun in your possession, and of course, being it for personal use or what have you, if you've registered it already, the Interior Ministry is saying that, well, they are introducing a new regime, and so it would require you to re-register your gun, and they will subject you to stricter so to speak, measures to ensure that whoever owns a gun in the country is actually qualified to do so. So the mental health assessment, drug screening, and firearm competency training is required, or is a prerequisite as far as you owning a gun in the country is concerned. So the question I'm asking myself is, I already have the gun. If I fall short of any of these assessments,
how did you get the gun?
No, it's registered. So he's saying that the guns, anybody with a gun which is already registered would have to re-register. So let's assume
they don't have like a time frame. So for example, if you have a gun, let's say you renew every 6 months, every 1 year.
I think it's every 1 year.
You don't have anything like that.
Yes, it's every 1 year. You renew it every 1 year. Yeah. So there's a time to that.
Okay. So are they calling for all of this because of what happened over the weekend?
Yeah.
So we wait for something to happen before we act.
And Kwame, a piece of
and
my mind.
That's what I wanted to get from. You remember the interview with Mr. Kumado yesterday? That's what I wanted to get from him. Is it because of what happened over the weekend? That is why all of a sudden we are running over everyone to put in some gun laws and to. By next week, not story.
You know this issue, That's what a letter to the president this morning is talking about. The fact that we are always proactive. Reactive. So we wait for the issue to happen. We wait for the floods to occur, and then we find officials, parading on our screens as though they are doing something. And it's always a thing to do with us as the people. So that's the point, Kwame. They say anybody who owns a gun in the country, like Doc and Co, they'll have to re-register their guns. No, so that's the information to you. You'd re-register it. Why they didn't subject you to mental assessment? No, answer this question.
It's always been part of it.
So what do they mean by mental health
good morning
assessment?
to your listeners.
Morning.
This morning that this gentleman wants to what is?
No, I just gave you an information.
No, I don't own a gun. So what's the point in the dog owning a gun?
Okay.
I know
it was just a scenario.
Okay.
Okay. Then that is fair.
No, you look like someone who own a gun.
But most importantly, Kwame, is let's this thing about mental health check and whatever has always been part of the.
It's not a new thing.
Yeah, it's always been part.
Was it last year we
only
engaged?
The minister.
There were some guys I've forgotten, and we discussed all of that here.
Yeah.
The checks you have to go through to own a gun.
Exactly.
It's not new.
Yeah.
Why we?
The minister is only re-echoing the point.
Yeah.
That you bring all your guns for registration or renewal or license or what have you. It's important, Kwame. We cannot be in a country where guns becomes the order of the day. The use of guns becomes the order of the day at every point in time.
But Kwame, let's give some credit to the Ministry and the Small Arms Commission. It's not as though something happened for which reason they are doing this. So we know that robbery cases and what have you, criminal activities are on the rise in the country. And so Muntaka
When was the last time you heard anything about small arms?
Small arms.
When was the last time?
In terms of interventions?
In terms of anything?
Well, if you ask about that, then I would say yesterday.
I went to a district in the Ashanti region. You know they have an office in some of the districts and some of the regions and all of that. And there was a gentleman sitting there, table and chair, and he said he was a head of the small arms.
And he's the only person there?
And he's the only person who was there. And I was like, now I'm going to bed. And then he just laughed. I won't mention the police.
But Kwame, quite a number of guns have been surrendered to the state, I should say, in that regard. And when you hear stories about governments or the police service arresting persons who had acquired certain weapons in the country, from wherever it is coming from, nobody knows. Kwame, you should cringe. You should be scared. It's no child's play.
When did they get them?
That's the point. So yesterday I was listening to this man from the United Party, Doctor. What's his name? I've forgotten. He was saying, these were his words, that I wouldn't mention the town's name, but he says the northern region has become a route through which people are able to smuggle guns into the country. And
to come and do what with it?
People have a lot of ulterior motives, Kwame. And I tell you what, when I was working in the service, we arrested a number of persons, especially in the middle of the night, 12 a.m., 2 a.m. thereabout, transporting guns to other places. And you ask them...
Not a gun, guns.
No, guns. And you ask them, they tell you that they are coming from neighboring countries, those closer to the northern region and all of that. They are coming from there. Where are you taking the guns to? They will never talk. They will not let you know who has ordered them to bring the guns in. So there are a lot of people within the society.
So what do you do with them? You confiscate them?
Yeah, of course. And then we hand them over to the police. We hand them over to the police. You believe what? What do you mean by you believe? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
No, don't worry.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't believe.
You don't believe that we hand them over to the police? Yeah. At least I'm telling you what we used to, we did when I was in the service. So you should believe it.
I'm sure in your case you hand over to the police. What the police do with it after?
No, that's pretty much
you have done your job.
Yes. Yeah. So that's pretty much what we do. We do
because it reminds me of the Dr. Manipama.
In other words, he's trying to push the proliferation of these arms, the excessive ones, to the other service that he's mentioned.
No, we arrest and we hand over. What do you do?
What shows that they handed over?
That's your doubt. That's your doubt.
Okay.
That's you.
That's
exactly. Exactly. Why you want the service to come and tell you that
every
now you want them? You
are you not aware?
Okay, I'm not aware.
Can you? Why? Because I said you owe the gun.
Well, let's even say if he owns it and he owns it legally. Then
the most important thing is legal acquisition. And ownership.
It's just that there are so many people who
go for the revalidation. So
you have to go for the.
I've given you the information. Please do the right thing. That's all. I've given you the information.
Anyway, Kwame, the other stories.
So yeah, that's the thing. You know, I told you that the Daily Graphic this morning has a number of stories on the NDC. And of course, was it yesterday they had an event or 3 days ago renaming
Monday 22nd.
22nd.
Yeah, so it was on Monday.
Okay, so I think
former president turned 79, I think.
Oh, okay.
If he was alive, he would have been 79.
So on the back of that, Chachu Chikata, the revered lawyer, has been proffering a lot of suggestions to the NDC as far as governance is concerned, and he says that NDC must raise governance standards. And the story by Dixon Wolanyo Doche says that legal luminary and statesman Chachu Chikata has called on the National Democratic Congress to uphold higher standards of governance and public service in honor of the legacy of its founder, former President Jerry John Rawlings. He said the party risked betraying the ideals on which it was founded if it became complacent and measured its performance only against its predecessors rather than adhering to the principles of accountability, integrity, and national transformation associated with Rawlings' leadership. Quote, so in honor of J.J. Rawlings and as an expression of the ideals of the NDC, we must raise the bar of service to the nation and mobilize the nation to reconstruct the future, he said. Mr. Chikata was delivering the keynote address at a lecture and exhibition organized by the NDC in collaboration with the J.J. Rawlings Foundation in Accra last Monday. So, of course, Kwame, that's some advice for the NDC from Chachu Chikata, and I think that it's a call in the right direction. The fact that we need to raise the levels of governance now in the country is not like what we are seeing, as far as current trends within politics is concerned. But let me bring you up to speed, Kwame. You know the Safu Kantanka family have been in the press or in the media for the bad reasons. The fight over succession to the Safu Kantanka. Is it a Safu Kantanka mission or Kudu Safu mission? There's a name for it.
Crystal
Safu mission and all of that. Well, so the former member of parliament for Dwomoh-agyemang, Adwoa Safo's brother, and 8 others, we hear they appeared in court yesterday and certain charges were preferred against them. And so the 8 others plus Akofena, who is Adwoa Safo's brother, having granted bail in the sum of 4.5 million Ghana cedis over shooting incident. And so the story goes this way. The circuit court at Adenta has admitted 9 persons to bail for the alleged roles in shootings aimed at former Dwomoh-agyemang member of parliament Sarah Adwoa Safo. The accused persons are the former MP's brother, Nana Kwejo Safo Akofena, Tamaklo Safo Jehoshaphat, Kwabena Safo Benjamin, Amuakwa Sam, Bedu Enoch, and Richard Aiti. The rest are Gideon Safo, Nana Kwekwe Friye, and Kwejo Safo Kumsin. They have been charged with 5 counts of use of offensive weapon, possession of explosive firearms and ammunition, prohibition of vigilante groups, and activities discharging guns in towns and causing unlawful damage. So the accused persons have pleaded not guilty to the charges and have been admitted to bail in the sum of 500,000 Ghana cedis with 2 sureties. Kwame. So that's the story coming from the Adwoa Safo family, and it's quite unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate. Maybe let me see if I can bring you one more story before perhaps we check out.
Anyway.
This one be family matter. I don't have anything to add.
And I'm happy that the lawyer, after the grant of bail, said that this is more like a family, a brother and sister matter. So they are going to sit to try and put them together. And I hope it works. I hope it works, because an attempt on my life and all that, I don't know.
And even with that one, we are hearing conflicting stories.
Exactly.
This one says this. This one says this. This one says I didn't shoot. This one says.
Why would you say you didn't shoot? I mean, clearly, as for the shoot, I'm sure that the investigations would also bring to light some of the things that went on.
Charlie.
I mean, it's unnecessary.
Anyway,
Kwame, yesterday or 3 days ago, you talked about the motorway. It's in the Daily Graphic.
Please, that road is not a motorway. It's a farm.
So page 27, and a story by Bless Betty says that drainage and traffic struggles on Tema motorway, and the Tema motorway, particularly around the Manet Junction area, has been one of the busiest transportation corridors in the Greater Accra region. Every day, thousands of commuters, students, traders, office workers, and commercial drivers depend on this route to travel between communities such as Spintex, East Legon, blah, blah, blah. We know all of the details. However, while the project, so we're talking about the expansion project, Kwame. However, while the project promises long-term benefit, the current conditions along the route have created significant challenges for those who use it daily. Poor drainage system. This is what I talked about the other time, that now whenever it rains, the entire motorway becomes flooded. There's no passage for the water. It becomes flooded. The motorway itself, it becomes flooding. And so poor drainage system, severe traffic congestion as early as 5:30, 5:40 Kwame. Traffic is building on the motorway from the Tema end.
And those winding artificial curves that have been
a lot of them. A lot of them
put there by the contractor is also not helping.
Get it. I don't
like you have to wind and wind and wind and wind.
Is it to make it beautiful or what?
I don't know
the technical mindset.
I don't know. I don't know what the. I don't see what.
Have you used the motorway?
Is that also recently being done by Maripoma?
I don't know who
he's the most popular contractor in Ghana at the moment. What I find very strange about his organization, whoever is behind the Maripoma, I'm told is one Alajibi or something like that. When the minister tells us in that video, if you recall, that you have been given a lot of jobs, you have been given a lot of opportunities, you are not delivering, we take. So you keep on asking for that individual who's been given jobs before,
why do you keep giving?
Why do you keep giving more jobs?
That's the point.
It's only because he's probably politically connected. That would be the only reason why the minister, is on TV telling all of us that he's been given jobs in the past and he's not delivering, and he still gets a lot more jobs. How does that happen?
Political connections, of course. Kwame, this is a country where once you're politically connected, everything is possible for you. You can even bring the sky to Ghana. I mean, it's sad because I use the motorway a lot every day.
And Kwame is it every day. I don't know how you do it.
You see, so 3 days today when you went there, you saw how bad it was.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how you do it.
And the fact that even though occasionally, they water the road, but it's so
dusty.
So very
dusty. Sadly, I mean, because I lived in Tema as a child, when you were using the motorway, it was very rare in those days to see people standing by the roadside and hailing cars. It was very rare because the buildings were not even close to the motorway.
Communities were so far away.
The communities were, you could see the communities in the distance.
But they were very far. You can't walk from
just by the motorway. There were people who were doing this lettuce and cabbage in those days. Today they've all gone. We've reduced the whole of those places to brick and mortar, and there are a lot of containers on the other side of the road as well, selling all kinds of things. So now people live relatively closer to the motorway, and they are standing by the roadside trying to get a car with all of this dust with all of these cars.
You've seen the 18 junction. You've seen the population there,
especially
in the morning.
Where the Toyota building is.
Is that where the Toyota building is?
Yes, that's where we've created a new transport hub over there.
Yeah. You see where I'm not doing advert for them, but where Belakwa is.
Yes.
Look at the population in the morning. Around this time, go there and see the number of people. The communities that have sprung up there, they've gotten closer. And even when you look at the fact that
because that same road goes to Ajekoju and all of those adjacent communities.
Through the Boteman area, you are able to connect all those.
So they all come to that side of the road to get a trotro. and with all the dust in their face all the time, all the dust in their faces all the time. You can't wear a white shirt and stand.
No. White on the motorway now. No, you can't.
And even if you are driving and you don't have AC in your car,
forget.
Like for a certain stretch, by the time you're done with it, the whole car is dusty.
Yeah.
And then whatever you're wearing by the time
and there was a time I came to the office and
you need to dust yourself.
Yes, there was a time I came to the office and Ken was telling me that Charlie, we think you know you feel fine. Like
the pace of work is just too slow, and I don't seem to see what he's trying to do. Just like the Winneba stretch as well. Elsewhere, one side remains constant. We're using that side, and then you are fixing the other side. I mean, that's what I see elsewhere. Here, it looks like he wants to do all at the same time. And if you do, especially with you see, if the road is not a busy road, that's different. But look at the number of people who are using that stretch every single time. And you want to do all at the same time. I don't seem to get the idea behind it.
I mean, like you are saying, the number of people who use the road, you know that Tema Main is full.
Pretty much.
It's full. So there's Tema Extension. There's the Dowinya side. There's those who have moved to the Beachley side, and then the Sebreport areas. And so even from that stretch, you recall years ago, from Afienya, it was a free stretch.
Oh yeah.
But now the traffic is huge. It tells you the number of people who are living around there, who are living within those communities. And a lot of these people also come to Accra. You know, they work in Accra and in adjoining communities and what have you. And so, Kwame, as early as 5:30, I don't know if you were the one, I think it was Nana. I sent a video to Nana around 5:15 thereabout. The traffic that had built on the motorway. I'm like, what's happening? And you move ahead, and it's not as if something has blocked it or something is causing the traffic. It has become normal for you to experience traffic every time on the motorway. And you're talking about those meandering routes that have been created by the contractor and all of that. I don't know what it is.
Look at the stretch from the
no, you need to see.
If you're going to Dowinya, look at the stretch from the motorway before you get to the TT Brothers side. There is nothing there. It's just that because of the rains, it's caused a lot of patches and craters on the road. The traffic that thing creates is crazy. And it is a very small stretch. That area, I don't know whether it falls under municipality. I don't know.
The TT Brothers area.
That side, or whether it's part of Tema.
The left, no, that part should be part of Tema. The left side falls under Kunkatama. So you know, the left side is my area, the Gulf City 25.
That's
area.
right.
That's under
so the TT Brothers side should be Tema.
It should be Tema. It should be Tema.
So Tema has so that place will be what? Would it be part of Tema Central?
Pretty much, yes. When you look at
that place cannot be Tema.
No,
I'm looking at the geography of the area because Tema East is the other side. Tema Newtown area. Tema West is Spintex and Community Eating and Kujo, those areas. So I'm just thinking maybe that side falls under Tema Central. If it is the case, because if you have the MP and you have a mayor there, and they have not seen this. It's not like a 1 kilometer stretch. It is a very small stretch. It shouldn't be more than maybe 500 meters.
That's true.
At least get a drip machine to just go in, like just do something.
The road has gotten bad, Kwame. So bad. Anyway, and
so I mean, this will fall directly under Ebi Bright's.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to be very sure. Yeah.
So definitely, she may be aware about it. Steps.
But what are they doing about it, Doc? Yeah, bro. At least that side
you can do. Site, so
no, that side the contractor is not there.
He's not there.
No, the contractor is another maybe 15 minutes away on that stretch. So when you go past, there's a popular company on your right like that. So when you go past, then there's an artificial roundabout that has been created.
Are you talking about the Pung?
Yeah, that stretch.
Yes,
side. That stretch, and then on your left, you are
the construction starts from that side.
Yeah. So where there's even a filling station there. I've forgotten the name. That side. So when you take left, you're going to Gulf City. If you take right, you are going to these new communities that have sprung up the whole of that stretch. I mean, they are suffering. Doc, the experience I had on Monday, the road is getting worse. It's not getting. So I don't seem to know what the contractor is doing.
We used to say that Tema is a very organized town in the middle of the world. You remember?
It was center of the world.
Yeah. And it was very organized.
Very.
You look at the Kaiser.
Is it the center?
No, it's still. We're talking about how. Yes, exactly. How the infrastructure has deteriorated over the period, and no one seemed to consent. Look at my routes now. Very bad. You should know this place. You know the main Kwame through the Mami Sekunde area towards the what do you call it? The TME. The road, yes. The main Comte 1 road. It got so bad.
Even if you are coming from
bad, but now they've done something, but it's still not the best.
If you are coming from 2 and you connect with the road that goes all the way to Ashaman, the inner roads from that side, if you are going to 1, or if you navigate your way through and you pass through 3 and maybe you are going through 4, there are a lot of the roads are getting bad by
and the
day.
beauty of Tema is gone. Tema is no longer beautiful.
So what you see in another 5 years is that if those little ones are not attended to, in another 5 years, then they become a bigger problem.
It spreads. Doc don't understand these things.
Oh, no, but Doc lived in Tema. Doc is pretending like he doesn't know what we're talking about. Doc lived in Tema for 8 years.
Yes, I don't know.
No. Doc lived in Tema for 8 years. He's just pretending like.
I'm just watching.
But you, when it was your time to talk about Kaswa and Wejaboti, and when your house was under sea,
Doc lives
to the extent that we had to even bring a historian, to talk about your issue. Did anybody talk?
The rules matter. I don't know.
Tema has the beauty of
it's not just Tema alone.
The beauty of Tema,
especially those who are doing the major ones. Abuja should give them some hits. Omoda.
This morning I was listening to the news item read by
the superstar,
Lizzie.
Yeah.
And I must say that I've been following the exploit of the Minister for Local Government. He's been visiting some of these assemblies
and holding court sessions there. The way he's been questioning, some of it.
Yeah.
I like the initiative.
Yeah.
In fact, it is alerting the public about some of the inactions of some of these people that you put as your MCs and your DCs and technocrats in some of these assemblies. I told you that government has released funds for 24-hour economy money.
And they are sitting on the money.
And they are
can you imagine? Disability for Sikapura.
Somebody
I don't get it. I just don't get it. Money is meant for people with that challenge.
Somebody is sitting on the money.
Just administering, just look at their plight and use the monies to enhance their situation. That one too, you are keeping the money and using it for something which is not related in any form or shape of those people with that kind of a situation. And it's very sad. And I'm excited. I wish he takes this thing to, in fact, all the regions. All the regions, Kwame. But this one, I don't know.
You won't get traction, unfortunately. These are not those kind of stories that would find its way to the front pages of a newspaper or even news items.
Yes. And so I want to, in fact, I am very excited about that move, and I commend the minister for taking up that responsibility. In fact, it's part of what they have to do. I mean, supervisory role over some of these agencies under their ministry. And so it's a great thing he's doing. We want to encourage him and if he cannot do it, you should empower other people in other regions.
The regional ministers are there.
Yes, to be able to.
The MMDCs in a particular region.
Yes.
The overall boss should be at the local level, exactly. The regional minister.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
To be able to deal with some of these things, because Kwame, it is so sad that you ask why is the money sitting there? People cannot even give reasons why the money is sitting in.
I saw a video, must be somewhere last week. He was in one of these districts, I think in the eastern region. It's like I think he himself was shocked at the people who work there, because they didn't seem to have an answer to any question he was asking.
At all.
So at the point, I could feel his frustration. Like, how are all of these people working here? And these are basic questions. Okay, so have the DCA funds been released to you? Yes. The first quarter you were supposed to do this. Why has it not? Then this one will turn and look at this person. Then this one. And what about the second quarter? Then this one will turn and look at this person. What about now? We are approaching the third quarter. So what are the plans for the third quarter when it comes to implementation? And all of them have specific things they do in their districts. Exactly. So if the money is sent to, let's say, all three of you are representing 3 different districts, what you may plan to do in the first quarter may be different from what Lizzie may be planning to do. But of course, because he's a minister, he's aware of everything. He has the paperwork on all of that. So he's posing very direct questions to them. In your districts, on the plan, this and this and this and this was supposed to be attended to. Why? No more here anymore. And I'm like, is that how they work at the local level?
It's serious, Kwame.
I mean, you see, with all the good intentions of President Mahama, it would be eroded, or it will be, I'm looking for the word, it will be challenged.
This is how people are going to be working.
By, yes, the people around him. The people. I'm not talking about President Mahama as a person. I'm talking about the president of the day. It will be challenged by the people around him, and whether or not they are able to perform. Like, without number, we've said on this platform that a lot of these MCs, DCs, don't even know why they are even there in the first place. Why are you holding on to this money? Is it your personal money? It was given to you for certain specific things.
We used to hear some things in the past, but those ones you don't have
for elections.
No. As for that one, there is like normal service. They wait till the 4th year and then they start doing a lot of things altogether. But in the past, we used to hear some funny things like when they take the money. And that one is not even only at the MC or DC level, even at the ministerial level. So people are in the ministries, they are taking the money, they are taking the checks. Then they go and use the money to buy T-bills.
Really?
Charles, you never heard this?
I see.
Because it can boom. It's a lot of money. So every time you hear people being owed, but the funds have been released. It was.
So it means that they use it for private stuff.
Oh no, they buy T. So for example, if the money is 1 billion, and in those days T-bills were around 25, 27, 30% thereabouts, they go and buy T-bills for about 3 months or 6 months. They get free money before they pay all these people that they owe. You never heard this?
I think I've heard this story before.
I heard this many years ago. Now the T-bills have come down, so I don't know whether they are so motivated to do that.
Government must put its feet on the ground.
Some of these things we need to stop as a district, or as a municipality, or assembly, whatever. We need to stop and get the job done. I mean,
we wanted to decentralize, but it doesn't look like it's.
Some of them didn't see this coming, did they? That they were going to be made MCDCs, and they know that
the MC, yes, in as much as it was by appointment, the chairman of the party, he was sitting where Doc was sitting. He said people applied. So I remember he said in some areas there were about 20 plus people who wanted to. So you wanted the job because after the 20, I remember he said they were shortlisted to about 2 or 3, and then the names were forwarded to Jubilee House, and then the selection was made there. That one, how they did it is up to them. So you wanted the job. It's not like you were sitting in your house and somebody forced the job on you. So you cannot say that you are there. Don't they go through? They go through. No, after they are done and they have been mentioned. They go through a training program. Yeah, that one. Yeah, so they know what is expected of them. So you cannot come and sit there and you are now acting like the job they over you. The job cannot over you.
These are the sort of things we need to do with as a country. Otherwise,
yeah, Kwame. But I know your time is up. Let me say a very good morning to Chairman and Chibosia, Chairman Witwi.
Oh, wait.
Because I've seen. I mean, Paul Afoko, virtually all the papers. He's doing well, saying that he would want to lead the NPP. I have said, and you know my position on this matter. Ubia Bekoda.
Trying to win.
Why are you quiet?
Because I don't know what to say.
Chairman and Chibosia. Chairman,
would you even get to contest? That one, those ones are matters of law, so we won't say anything.
Please don't go there. That is not even.
It's a question.
It was just a harmless question.
It's a question.
Don't go there.
Now he's been shifted to it.
So I want to say a very good morning to him. I mean, We're solidly behind him. We pray with him that everything will go very well for him. As for the rest, I am saying, Omunkoda. Yes, we have beautiful ideas and all. Let me greet Secretary.
But we are not done. You are greeting.
GFK. I'm greeting GFK.
Who says
I can't greet him.
No, wait. Let's finish. We finish and then you greet. You can't change the style. Why are you changing the
What
style?
are you finishing?
You see, he's seen the story, so he
doesn't
want me to raise the story. Kwame, Kwame, the rent issue. It's not God.
Who does the rent issue?
The rent, yeah, you and your boss.
Yes, what is wrong?
It's on this way to prepare again.
Yeah. There was a time where we saw all the, all that what's his name? The CEO was doing and all of that. But it looks like we've gone to sleep again.
No.
What's happening? What are you doing? What have you done?
I hope Commissioner
What have you done? What have you done? It's a simple question. We'll not let you.
My people will force you to be tired.
No. Nobody is tired.
What do you mean by system no more?
It is Charles and his people.
Landlords. Me, what have
who think that
you can take us for granted?
He wants to do propaganda. He wants to do propaganda. Answer the question. We'll answer the question. Stop the propaganda. What's the latest?
And the latest is that we have put an embargo on the increment of hostel facilities.
That one we know. Yeah, that one happened then. How about?
It's a big deal.
How about
the number of students?
Our parents can save some money.
Yeah.
The number of students.
And we praised you. Oh, we praised you. That one we all know. He's elevated. He's elevated
the office.
But you said we, so you are part of them. So I'm saying we praise.
Maybe this is where we draw the curtains. We'll try to get Mr. Opoku in at some point.
Yeah.
He's a friend of the station.
Right now,
let's see
we have given notice that we have served notice to the general public that if any landlord wants to take more than 6 months from you, report the person.
What happened to the yellow?
The task force.
Don't worry, there are things coming up.
But you people, the 5 months, 6 months. The 5 months, 6 months. The CEO was here. Your boss was here. He told us. Yes, he's the commissioner. Yes, of course. I mean, he told us that. Oh, but CEO, that's not a big man. Oh, anyway, so he told us that the yellow were going to be deployed after 5-6 months, isn't it? So we're asking. We are saying that it's good, though.
Don't forget that
it's good.
This whole thing is a novel. President Mahama, in the history of this country, has been the only president who's been able to appoint a commissioner for the rent control. You get it? This is a novel, and so there are things that will take some time to materialize. It's not like the system was already built. So gradually, we are putting up certain structures to ensure that some of these things will pass through.
How about the ordinary citizens? How about those ones?
So please, don't worry. If
I'm worried.
People are taking you more than 6 months as landlords, please report them. Walk to any outfit, any rent control department.
You have as many offices dotted
yes, all over, scattered all over the country. Walk into that office and report that landlord.
I'm just looking forward to the kind of messages that's going to come on your console.
Let's see how it goes.
But the only interesting thing about this whole thing is that, Kwame, those who enacted the laws themselves are taking
of course.
rent advance.
Kwame, this morning, let's say kudos to the Daily Graphic. You know that there's a time at which stories go to bed for a lot of these newspapers. So
and the game ended after
everything is captured
because
everything.
They have
the
their
back
own
page. Just that the printing is a bit.
They have their own printing house. I mean, most of the others they go elsewhere to print because I'm told the machines are quite expensive. Okay, we'll extend the conversations a bit better and communicate a very special message to His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. And this one is from my colleague and producer, Charles Akrofi.
Dear Mr. President, I write to you today not about a single incident or a passing controversy, but about what seems to have become an unfortunate national culture. A culture of reacting to events only after they have occurred, rather than anticipating them and putting measures in place to prevent them. Mr. President, one of the marks of effective leadership and strong institutions is the ability to foresee challenges and prepare adequately for them. Yet in Ghana, it often appears that we are more comfortable fighting fires than preventing them. We seem to spring into action only when the damage has already been done, when public outrage has reached fever pitch, or when the disaster has struck and left destruction in its wake. The recent displays of opulence and extravagance on some senior high school campuses are a case in point. Videos of students arriving in luxury vehicles, spraying money and turning graduation ceremonies into displays of affluence sparked outrage among many Ghanaians. The Ministry of Education responded swiftly by suspending all graduation activities nationwide. While many welcome the move, one cannot help but ask, why did we have to come to this? Were there no warning signs? Could the Ghana Education Service have issued clear guidelines and exercise supervision before matters got out of hand? Must social media outrage always be the trigger for action? Similarly, following the torrential rains that wreaked havoc in parts of the central region, authorities have been urging residents occupying unsafe structures to vacate. Again, Mr. President, one is compelled to ask, why do we wait until houses collapse, communities are flooded, and lives are endangered before identifying buildings that pose risks? Why are inspections and preventive measures often activated only after tragedy has struck? Why must warnings come after disasters instead of before them? This pattern is not new. We see it in the perennial flooding in Accra and other parts of the country. Every rainy season, we lament the loss of lives and property. We dredge gutters after floods have occurred. We demolish structures after waterways have been obstructed. We embark on decongestion exercises after congestion has become unbearable. Yet, the following year, the cycle repeats itself. We have witnessed similar reactions in the health sector. Epidemics break out before emergency measures are announced. We respond to road accidents after lives have been lost rather than enforcing regulation and fixing dangerous roads beforehand. We tackle illegal mining after our rivers have turned brown and our forests have been degraded. We are always racing against crises instead of staying ahead of them. Mr. President, this tendency to be reactive rather than proactive comes at a huge cost. It costs lives, it destroys property, it drains scarce resources, it weakens confidence in our institutions. More importantly, it sends a troubling message that we only act when circumstances force us to do so. Why can't we change this mindset? Why can't we strengthen our institutions to identify problems before they become emergencies? Why can't we empower regulatory bodies to enforce rules without waiting for public outcry? Why can't we cultivate a culture where planning, foresight, and prevention are given the same agency as crisis management? The truth is that prevention is always cheaper than cure. Anticipating a problem is less expensive than dealing with its consequences. A nation that plans ahead saves money, protects lives, and creates confidence among its citizens. Great societies are not built by reacting to every crisis. They are built by preparing for them before they happen. Mr. President, perhaps it is time to move away from governance by knee-jerk reactions and embrace governance driven by foresight and preparedness. Let our institutions become proactive rather than reactive. Let our leaders plan ahead rather than merely respond. Let us build systems that detect risks early and provide solutions before crises emerge. For a country that aspires to greatness, we cannot continue to wait for disaster before taking action. We cannot afford to always be one step behind events. We must become a people who think ahead, act ahead, and prepare ahead. Because, Mr. President, the greatest leadership is not demonstrated by how quickly one reacts to a crisis, but by how effectively one prevents the crisis from occurring in the first place. May God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. Yours faithfully, Class FM.
Well, so over to you, Your Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. That was from my colleague and producer Charles Akrofi there to His Excellency. You're still live, you're on Class 91.3
I'm Dr. Vanessa Rapia, and this is Medical Minutes. Many people focus on the number on the scale, but when it comes to health, where your weight is carried may be just as important as how much you weigh. Weight alone doesn't tell the whole story. Two people can weigh exactly the same and have very different health risks. One reason is where body fat is stored. Excess fat around the abdomen, often called central or abdominal obesity, is associated with a higher risk of type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, and fatty liver disease. This is because abdominal fat is metabolically active. It influences hormones, inflammation, and how the body processes sugar and energy. That's why waist circumference is often used alongside weight when assessing health risk. Health is about much more than appearance. It's about understanding what is happening inside the body and taking steps to protect your future. Don't focus solely on the scale. Know your blood pressure, know your sugar, know your cholesterol, and understand your weight measurement. The goal isn't simply to weigh less, the goal is to be healthier. I'm Dr. Vanessa Rapia, CEO of the Accra London Health Centre. Your well-being matters.
Class 91.3 FM. Well, a massive thank you to Dr. Vanessa Rapia for the education this morning. You're still live, you're on Class 91.3 FM.
This is Class 91.3.
Class 91.3 FM.
Well, this is Class 91.3 FM, and this is A Piece of My Mind, which is a segment of the show where I hear my thoughts on a subject. I share my thoughts on a subject, and also give you an opportunity for you to share your thoughts as well. Remember, you can do this via multiple ways. The WhatsApp number remains the same, 0500,000 202, 0500,000 202. Alternatively, you can reach us on our socials, Class 913 on Facebook and Class 91.3 FM on X. Or when the phone lines are activated, you can always give us a call. Take note of the calling number 0302 208080, 0302 208080. When the phone lines are activated, always give me those calls and vents, because it's an opportunity for you to share how frustrated you are about a particular issue. So today I'm focused on a story on the front page of the Guinean Times newspaper. If you have a copy, there's a photo on the paper that has to do with the transport crisis deepening here in Ghana, and the full story being on page 12 of the paper. This is something that we've discussed a number of times on this platform, but it seems to be getting to a head now. The transport queues are deepening, the long queues, the high fares, the delays, and all of that, all in one. Now let's take them one after the other and look at the issues thereof. We have discussed on this platform months last year about how people were struggling to get access to transport and move from one part of this country to another. At the time, there was no conversation about intercity. The conversation pretty much was focused on intracity, because, for example, if you look at the traffic situation in Accra, it's almost impossible to compare that to, let's say, the Upper West, or almost impossible to compare that to, let's say, the Northeast region. There are about 6 million plus people who live within the Greater Accra region alone, who are moving from one place to the other. So we shouted, we screamed, we shouted, we screamed, we shouted, and we screamed. I remember I had the deputy head of the Metro Miles here. I even engaged his boss on the phone as well, and we're looking at ways of improving that particular situation. Then subsequently we're told that about 300 buses were going to be finding their way into the country. As we speak, we're told that about 100 of them are here. Another 100 is going to be coming in the coming weeks, and then another 100 will come in by the end of the year. Now we are hearing, or now we've officially been told by the Metro Mass that yes, the buses have come in, but the buses are going to be used for intercity rather, because when apparently they did their cost benefit analysis, that was going to help. We don't have a problem with the cost benefit analysis that you're doing if you're going to be improving the operations of the organization. But what we made clear at that point when we shouted and screamed was that we were not having a conversation about intercity. In those days, we're having a conversation about intracity, because a lot more people are struggling to find a car either to work or where they have closed and trying to get home. If you have a car, maybe you're okay. But if you drive, just have a look at the roadside and see the number of people who are there, especially early morning, who want a car to go to work, but the cars do not appear to be enough. Or after 5, when you have so many people who have closed. And here, almost all the bus stops are by the roadside. They are not in a corner somewhere. So you can see them every single day. And the numbers are getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. The old metro buses are not enough for them. Not too many years ago, and I experienced this, there were Tata buses in this country. There was a bus company called Omnibus Service Authority. They were here. If you lived on the Kanishi or Doko stretch, the King of Kings buses were there. And there were a few other companies who were also doing their own thing. In any serious country, transport is not literally in the hands of the private sector. Yes, you want to improve that space. You would want some companies to go there. But in any serious country, you would notice that a greater chunk of transport services are in the hands of government. Because you have the means to do that. You have the funds to do that. The private organizations do not have the funds to do that. They are only focused on profits. So elsewhere, they are improving system every now and then. If it's not the buses, it is rail. Here, we don't seem to be sure what exactly we want to do. Rail, literally non-existent. It is relatively cheaper as well. But for whatever reason, we don't seem to be wanting to focus on that. We had a ministry that was in place for about 8 years and still decided that the most important thing for them to do was a sky train. At this point, every now and then I hear of the train that runs through Asoprochona. Every now and then I hear about the one that goes through Afienya. But that's not Accra. There are so many people living in so many other parts of the city who need help. Wouldn't it be so nice that if you live in Kaswa and you're coming to work, instead of being traffic to and fro for about 4-5 hours every single day, you can get a train from somewhere in Kaswa that will connect to, let's say, somewhere at Malam Junction. You do a changeover, or you change trains, and then you connect to another location and another location, and within 30 minutes you are at your office, and you don't have to wake up at 3:30, 4:30, 4 o'clock, 5:30 just to ensure that you get to work by 8 or 9 or 10. Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it save all of us? But it doesn't appear to be the focus. So what is happening? The more the population continues to increase, the more the demand for some of these services become bigger and bigger. So at this point, what we are hearing every now and then is that most of these transport owners have now decided what they would want to charge. So for example, if you are moving from, let's say, Kanishi to Kaswa, and it was, let's say, 10 Ghana Cedi, the buses arrive, and then you hear the mate saying, Kaswa, 20 Ghana straight, Obefro Afro. And of course, you don't have options. You are tired, you are in a hurry, you want to get home. So you are likely to board it like that. The worst part is those who do the short shots. So the car is actually going to Kaswa, but the driver is at Kanishi and is trying to take advantage of all the people who are there. So he comes in and the first thing he does is Malam Junction. You have to do Malam Junction. When you get to Malam Junction, somewhere on the stretch before you get to Kaswa. So by the time you get to Kaswa, you've paid about 3 different rates. And for many of you who live in areas like that, you don't live at the edge of the road. A lot of you live way inside. So even when you get to Kaswa, you are still boarding a taxi. I know some of you are even boarding 2 taxis just to get home. Look at how much you're going to be spending on transport alone if you're working Monday to Friday. These days, a lot of people work on Saturdays, or you're doing other things on Saturdays as well. It doesn't look like we have a comprehensive plan to deal with this. Even at dawn, when I'm coming to work, I still see a lot of people standing by the roadside. When I close early, it's even worse. Get to 37, get to any of those, junctions, get to Accra Mall, any of those places where you see a lot of people queuing for a bus, or a lot of people standing by the roadside for a bus, and the numbers are ridiculous. How we don't seem to be paying attention to this as a country baffles me. The thing is that our leaders travel. They see what pertains in other countries. They see the plans. They see what government is doing. But it looks like the moment they get to Accra International Airport, they forget everything. Yes, we know that majority of you are the ones who own all of these buses. Majority of you are the one who owns all of these cars that would move people from one part of the town to the other. So in times like this, it's even an opportunity for you to even milk us and exploit us the more. But there is something that you tell us when you need that political power, that when you come in, you're going to make things different. And that this administration, we had reset. It can always be better. It can always be improved. Because whether you like it or not, the population is not going to decrease. The population is only going to increase. And you're going to have people move from the rural areas to the urban areas. Because opportunities in those places may be limited. And everybody wants to come to Accra. Everybody wants to come to Kumasi. Everybody wants to go to Takrady. Everybody wants to go to Tamale. And once they end up in those places, there will be pressure on social services. There will be pressure on transport services. We do not appear to have a short-term plan, a medium-term plan, or a long-term plan to deal with some of these things. Even if, and I said it on this platform, even if the 100 buses that have been brought were supposed to attend to intra-city stuff, the buses are so small, they can take up to about just 29 passengers. You bring bigger buses that can take about 50, 60, 100 people at a time. That is what you see in other parts of the world. They are not bringing in buses that can take 20 people. It won't improve much. But if you bring a bus that can take about 50 people at a time, if you bring a bus that can take about 70 people at a time, and there are clear bus lanes for them to be using, you know that if you bought a bus from, let's say, Pokwasi or Amasamai or Fankobaria or Achimota or anywhere, you would get to your destination by this time, because there are bus lanes that they would use. They would not be part of that, clutter in town every single time. But here, the buses are even using the same routes like all the other commercial cars. So when you sit in there, it appears to take you forever. I know people who tell you that at a certain time of the day, they are not going to be boarding the metro mass, because they will stop at almost every stop. So if you are doing, let's say, a journey from Insawam to Accra Central, it's going to take you about maybe 2 hours. For a distance of somewhere around 30 kilometers, it's going to take you about 2 hours or even more. But if you do, let's say, a smaller trotro, or if you do an Uber, or if you do a taxi, then it's going to take you maybe a bit less time so that you can make your way to work. We don't seem to be paying attention to some of these things. And it's the same old. We'll talk. The authorities are seeing all of these things every day. They use the roads. They pass by. They see. But of course, they are driving in sirens and nice cars. So they don't appear to go through the challenge you and I go through every single day. We live in a country where minimum wage is just a little over 22 Ghana cedi. There are people who are earning 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000. If you're going to be using about 40%, 35%, 45% on transport alone, how much is left for feeding? How much is left for clothing? How much is left for miscellaneous? How much is left for school fees? How much is left for all the things that you would want to do? There are bigger conversations arising from this, and we don't seem to see it. We don't seem to see it. It's sad and it's very disappointing when you see young kids, 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, trying to hustle for trotro with their parents early morning, just so that they won't be late to go to school. It's same in the evening. You work so hard, you're tired. You are leaving home around 4 just to go to work because of traffic. You close at 5 and it's taking you another 3 or 4 hours just to get home. So Monday to Friday, you are literally staggering to work. And by Saturday, you are just finished. This is what we face here at this point. There's a lot we need to improve as far as the transport sector is concerned. And I will keep on making the noise about paying attention to road transport and paying attention to possibly water transport as well. I don't know if a feasibility has been done, but this is so clear because in other countries you would see this. I don't understand why in 2026 I cannot board a train from Accra to Nsawam. I can't board a train from Accra to Kumasi. I can't do a train from Accra to Cape Coast. I can't do a train from Accra to Ho. I can't do a train from Accra to Takrady. I can't do a train from Accra to Sunyani. It should be possible in 2026. It should be possible. I should be able to do a train from, let's say, in Sawam to maybe somewhere at Circle or somewhere at Accra Central, change over and connect to another part of Accra. It should be possible because it is possible in other countries and it can be possible here. Look at all the traffic on the road. Look at all the fumes that we are inhaling because we are in traffic. How we would avoid all of that if we're not stuck in traffic. We don't seem to worry about these things. We don't seem to. Our authorities do not appear to be worried about these things. And it's most unfortunate. It's just most unfortunate. Someday, you just hope and pray that things would or may improve. Well, the phone lines have been activated. You can give me a call. Our WhatsApp number remains same: 0500,000 202, 0500,000 202, or 0302208080. You give me a call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, I can't seem to hear those caller, but you can call me and share your thoughts with me. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, I can't seem to hear the caller. Please get a technician to come and have a look at it for me. 0302208080, 0302208080, or you can send us a message on our WhatsApp number 0500,000 202, 0500,000 202. Hello, good morning.
How are you?
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yes, my name is James from Ashama.
Go ahead.
In fact, this topic you have raised, I just want to speak about it in regards to Ashama Road. You see, we have a lot of throttle, but because of the nature of the road, you cannot go and come back. So you will, at the end of the day, there are a lot of people by the roadside looking for throttle. So what I want to say is that you see, the road network in Ashama and Tema is very bad. And as your panelists have mentioned, the whole of Tema, the road network is very bad. When you come to Ashama, the last time I mentioned on this platform, and I was told that the KKD, the Tonkata Manso, they said they have awarded the contract. You see, if they have awarded the contract, up to now, there's nobody on site. So, because the road is very bad, the throttle cannot go and come. So, they are all stuck in the traffic on the bad road. So, during the rush hour, you realize that everybody, it's like, we don't know what to do. So, if there is, I want to suggest, if there can be a dedicated line to these assemblies, so that when you see something, you can call them and say, so at least, this is not for potholes. That's what is slowing the traffic. So if they can come and fill those potholes, it will help us. Because if there's no dedicated line for us to call them and then complain, they'll be there and doing whatever they are doing now. Have a blessed, bro.
Have a blessed morning too. Thank you for calling. 0302208080. Hello, good morning. Hello. Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay, I can't seem to hear this caller. 0302208080. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, Kwame.
Okay, the line is very faint. I can't seem to hear anything. 0302208080. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Kwame.
There's someone on the line, but the person is not speaking. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Kelvin. I'm calling from Dwomoh.
Calvin, if you can kindly speak up a bit. Thank you.
Okay. Kwame, my issue is, I don't know if you can hear me clearly now.
This is better. Go ahead.
Okay. Kwame, this I'm a concerned citizen, okay? And, most of the time I drive around Accra, almost. Kwame, if you see what is going on in Accra, I think Accra is overcrowded with a lot of people. So you see, Charlie, it's very bad. And every day we've been calling on government to do something. But look, it seems like nobody is taking our words, seriously. For how long will you continue to be calling Kwame and be lamenting about these problems in the country? For how long? It's getting bad every day, each and every day. The roads all are very bad. As it's rain, it washes away the top layer of the road. I don't know how they even constructed the road at the first place. Kwame, I don't know. If people are listening to you, since our big men are listening to you, they should ask something, they should do something about this, our problem. People are suffering, drivers are suffering. Do you know how much is spare parts, how much you buy spare parts and fees so I can maintain our car? Boss, it's getting bad. So please, if you can echo, talk something, do something. Either the youth will fed up one day and stand and do something crazy, and nobody can stand it. I keep on saying this. And most of the time I said democracy is not a thing for Ghana. And people say, oh, no, democracy is not a thing for Ghana because it is too much. I live at somewhere whereby the gutter in front of me, people, when I wake up, when I'm going, people deliberately come and drop things in the gutter. When you think of it, you understand the attitude, the mindset you have in this country about, no, democracy is not going to help us. They will continue like this forever till we die. And generations will continue like this. Thank you very much, boss.
Thank you very much. 0302208080. Hello, good morning.
Well, good morning, my brother.
Yeah, good morning, Papa. Go ahead.
You see how you are passionate about this transport sector. Very passionate. Your love for football is not letting you talk about our victory, our draw with with England. Because we are very. You see, I'm adding my voice to yours. Government, see, what is that? I'm an NDC person, yes. It seems as if there's a reduction in the price of fuel. Is that not it? It seems those who are owning cars are enjoying. But those who don't have vehicles, going to work every morning and coming back home, it seems to be suffering. And that's why I'm adding my voice to yours. Government should try and bring in more buses. More buses, or even if they can import more of these truck people, what they are using, these private commercial vehicles. If government can enter into it, it will be better for us. So that the resetting agenda and the comfort that the president wants for Ghanaians will be felt. Because you cannot leave your house in the morning, instead of you paying 7 cedis or 8 cedis, you'll be forced to pay 20 cedis to work and 20 cedis back home. How much are you earning? I pray government, I'm appealing to President Mahama that he should, let the transport ministry import more of it. But you see, change of government normally brings problems.
1.3 FM.
That's what I'm saying to it. Mahama brought in this Ayalolo buses and then created a space whereby it will be using normally. Is that not it? When this government came, the MPP government came, they destroyed that sector. It's very, very painful. So I'm urging President Mahama, if you can bring back that lane, like you rightly said, you made that point, that if you can create a space for that sort of, buses that will be brought, they will have their own lane, and then people can easily get home or get to work early. Have a good day, my brother.
Have a good day too, Papa, and thank you for calling as always. Hello, good morning.
Kwame, how are you?
I'm doing well, Kwame. Yourself?
Charlie, I'm doing great this morning.
Fantastic. Go ahead.
Kwame, first of all, I want to offer a prayer for you.
Thank you.
That the Lord Almighty will continue to protect and to preserve your life.
Amen.
Because what you are doing, you are a threat to many people, but no weapon formed against you will prosper.
Amen.
You will live long and see what you are advocating for every blessed day. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Kwame, let me go to my point. What my father, lawyer Chachukata told NDC last time that they should avoid complacency. They should heed to that advice. Kwame, this transportation issue that you are talking about, you have traveled all over Morocco and all those countries. See the buses they use. Sometimes they use double-deck buses, up and down. bus that can carry about 50, 75 people. You see, even Ghana here, if they want to go and bring bus, they'll bring bus that will carry 20 people. When somebody said Accra is overcrowded, Accra is not overcrowded. Because come to Adenta here, there are plenty alternative routes. But because those routes are left unattended to, everybody is competing for the major route. Kwame, is our politicians say they are not driving through these roads? Are they not seeing the people in queue? Are they not seeing the people every morning, every evening, struggling for throttle? Because they are in their V8 and in siren, they don't even care about anybody. Kwame, this country, I told you every day, the country is sitting on shit bomb. And one day when it explodes like volcano, it will be a problem. Kwame, have a blessed day and do your work. Imagine that the MC that you interviewed last week Friday. Look at how the man was rude. And imagine this man become a minister. Ghana will bend. So we have people that are not good. Block-headed people in power, ruling us. That's why the country is like this.
Kwame, thank you very much for calling. Hello, good morning.
Morning, my bro. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Eben. Go ahead.
You see, my brother, truly spoken, and you have said it all. We are pleading with what? The authorities. We are begging of them, especially this transport minister. You see, his attitude is becoming annoying. You told us 300 buses, 100 has landed. Almost 3-4 months now. What are we waiting? You remember, Kwame, I told you yesterday that I walked from Kwabenya to Achimota before getting the Metro Mazda. You remember I told you?
Yes, I do.
Yesterday, but then I was going to Aboto Kind to buy some shocks to a certain car of my brother. After that, I had to go to Asamai. I went to Asamai to Koforidia. When I came back to Madina Place, I was looking car to Kwabenya. Kwabenya car, but then all of them were watching ball. Pokwasi car, they said they are taking 10 city. Whether you are light at what? Atomical, 10 city straight. If the road not good, so we are pleading with the authority, especially the transport minister. It should hasten doing things. Why are we making Ghanaians go stress here and there? Meanwhile, as you earlier said, the minimum wage is 22 Ghana cedis. Some work can earn 700 cedis, 1,000 Ghana cedis. And you 700 Ghana cedis, a traveler will be telling you that some place that need to take you 50%. They are taking 10 cedis straight. When you are going to Kaswa, 20 cedis. Why? When persuasion fails, first must be applied. Leadership, we are begging of you. Please, do something. Good morning, Kwame.
Good morning, Eben. Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Kwame. How are you?
I'm doing well. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
I'm Richard, calling from Neighborhood Town.
Rich, go ahead.
Yes. Thank you for your much concern and more, how will I say, passion for the better of this country. Kwame, the whole thing is that they said, or we want to see better something. It starts from road. Just let's connect all this road. Let's do the road very well and see whether there will be this traffic, kids standing by the roadside at early at 5 o'clock just to queue or just to get to school, or workers standing beside the road early at 4:30 to get to work. How many hours will you even contribute to your work? Much more effort put inside. You see, it's all about this road issue. The whole place is traffic jammed everywhere. Pothole, manhole everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you too. 0302208080. Hello, good morning.
Hi, bro.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Michael from Kotobabe.
Mike, go ahead.
Thank you. Bro, I like your energy though. You see, you and I can do can do it better than those who are in position right now. You see, you guys we want to be seeing in our vicinity. You understand me? Kwame, I told you, you can do better if you stand for an election. All of us will support you. We want some of you journalists We want to be seeing you guys around. You see, I know some of you are not just talking keke. You can do it because the energy alone you Kwame, I've been seeing you in GTV too. And I say, how come? Sometimes I say I can't, maybe early morning, like morning show like this, maybe sometimes you disappoint some of us. But yet they are doing your job. Workaholic, you understand me? So let us come together. And not these guys, board-headed people around, and then you guys should take over. And we support you. That will be better. Nothing is too late. Good morning.
Good morning. I hear you. 0302208080. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Fredo from Hacho.
Fred, go ahead.
This transport system is a big issue in this country. And it's like we are solely depending on road. Where we are even buying our buses from, last time you said they don't even focus, or their focus is not only on road. They have their railway that is working perfectly. How much more you a country with nothing? If they should even use iron rod and do the road, it will spoil because our focus is only on the road, and there's no way we can sustain it. We don't have the capacity. The cars that are not supposed to use the road, they are using it. So Ghana become wash and wear. We have only one shirt. So when you wash it today, you iron it, you wear. 3 days, 4 days, even a month, it will fade. So it's better we look at another alternative to be able to cope all these things. If we depend only on road, when water is there, when the railway system is bad, and we are complaining that our roads are bad. Our roads are bad. Things that are not supposed to be using the road, they are on the road 24/7. So why won't it get bad? This country. Good morning.
Good morning. 0302208080. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Seth. I'm calling from Ajekojo.
Seth, go ahead.
Mr. Kwame, you see, your passion there will be something we have to be talking serious about it. Anytime
Class 91.3 FM.
You have been to the place and then you see it yourself. That is, we are hearing it from your passion to the topic you are bringing every day. Mr. Kwame, when you come to my side, Ajekojo, they say Legon Hill to Underbridge. You see, the just more contractor. This man, they have to call him to do something. Because if they haven't called him to do something about that road we are talking now, it will not help. Now, Assembly is using the money the one they have to use to do the inner road. Now they are using it to pour on the main road and then come and level it. But it creates a lot of bedding and things. You see, just more have to come and grade one side for the drivers to patrol. And then when the drivers are passing down there, you will see that the citizens who are going to work will not be suffering. The burden alone will release for them. That transport station, they have to do something about it. Thank you.
Thank you too. We'll take a few more calls and then wrap up the calling segment of the show. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Andy is calling from Lakeside.
Andy, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much I've heard people speaking about your passion. I listen to you almost every day, and I thank God for your life.
Thank you.
You see, when the decision is taken that we should leave the country to the politicians so that we go on with our lives, I don't fully understand it, and maybe I'll seek explanation from you another time. So these are people we can describe as atrocious. These are very wicked people and also frustrated. And they are, almost all of them are square pegs in round holes. They don't know, like I heard this morning. Somebody was saying you interviewed somebody, an MP or MC or whatever. And the arrogance, the sheer arrogance tells you that, hey, they don't know why they are in office. There is one question I ask. Have any of them been called to ask the question that, do you know you are just a servant? Forget about your academic qualification, whatever. Once you enter political office or public space, you are just a servant. My brother, have you tried Medina Station before? Medina?
Yeah, I was there just last week.
Just last week. And you see people standing in the open at the mercy of the weather. You are looking at the clouds formed over you. maybe the next moment there will be rain. So you ask, where would they go when it's raining? And when we talk, you say people listening to you, but what next? Thank you very much, and may God bless you.
Thank you very much for calling. 0302208080. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Kwame.
I go back with me who you answer.
Class 91.3
last
FM.
3 days, Prime Minister for UK. Urban train, no food. Come on, 1.2 na urban. Or food train, we know BBC. It's about know how we know that you to me the same train even on board and transport. Kwame, it could just a question. Effort to come in a more than 2 hours. Locker. Why? The young money bread me. You check that. Get him back on the pint. Now you bread me. Kwame, thank you.
People are just frustrated. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Kwame, here is Dave.
Dave, go ahead.
Yeah, Kwame, when we did life, we no one use brand. Always I used to tell you that the capital, it's not the squatter you have today in the capital. Capital is the place that if the white people came, you come and respect it. It's not your village. The plan of the capital is for government. But now illegal in the capital. And unlawful development people in the capital. The capital is not for government. Everybody is doing. Why we don't know that? All people don't see that. Me, but you don't have to all everything. I say, Ghana. Ghana is a more ruffian, lessness. I mean, movie plan. Ghana is not movie planning. Ghana is movie business. Me, I'm strong and political. I'm everything. More than zero. We say we are planting, we wake up, we are planting. No, I know where to come.
Dave, I appreciate you calling every day. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Kwame.
Good morning, Babs. Go ahead.
Kwame, are you not tired of this transport issue? I want to take on a different angle. The local government minister, you play his audio. Kwame, is that the way we should build a country? MCs, how do you call it? The MCs that monies were given to them to execute their community on the project that they were given. They failed to do it. So come 4 years, they will go and stand in public account committee. What did you do with the money? They have no answer. The money is here. The money is there. What you were giving the money to execute a project for your community, for the community, the people in the community to enjoy what you have been giving the money for? Is that the way to build a country? And who is watching the watchman? If the local minister, you are the minister responsible to check on these people. If they didn't do the project, sack them. Take the money and sack them. Kwame, have a good morning.
Have a good morning. We'll take a final caller and then we'll wrap up this segment. Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Teacher Robin, go ahead.
I like your courage. And also to tell you that some of us will listen to you every day and we are with you.
Thank you.
If you visit Medina Zungu Junction, you know how Ghanaians are suffering because that is the closest place to my house. I said last I was going to town, I know that, I should have used my bicycle to go to Seka. Yes, because I play bicycle a lot. What? Elderly people are being pushed. And this transport minister was telling us that the 100 buses are for intercity. Because I traveled home last time, I was at a Aflau station for almost a day without car. Where are the cars? Intercity. Where is Marina car? Intercity. To where? Because I think from Accra to home I'll be a city. But should we go to Seka to take that car or it should be given to the Vero district who played the road? So Mahama too, what I said, he is my last hope. Me, I'll say it today. If I have the means after Mahama, I'll make good in this country. Because we are too fragile for these people. What is happening? If you see how elderly people are suffering, when committing from one place to another, you will cry. May God save us.
May God save us. And that's going to be the final caller that we will be taking. I already have His Excellency Roey Gilad in the studio with us this morning. We're going to be having a conversation with respect to the state of Israel and its relationship with Ghana. We're going to be having conversations about trade, technology, agri, and regional security. Time permitting, we'll be going into a bit of politics as well. I mean, it's almost impossible to have a conversation with an Israeli official and not get into those a bit of issues as well. I'll do a quick break. When I return, we'll start our conversations with His Excellency Roey Gilad.
Good morning, good morning.
Have the Israeli ambassador to Ghana, Liberia, and Sierra Leone, His Excellency Ambassador Roey Gilad, and we're going to be focusing on a number of things with respect to this conversation. We're looking at areas around trade, technology, agri, and regional security. Now, this interview would also seek to explore the state of bilateral relations between Ghana and Israel and examine opportunities for deeper cooperation across key sectors. The conversation would also highlight Israel's experience in water management and innovation, opportunities available to Ghanaian businesses and young entrepreneurs, and avenues for academic and cultural exchange. In addition, the ambassador will share perspectives on contemporary global security challenges, including counterterrorism and cyber security. And this morning, again, we are privileged to have His Excellency Roey Gilad join us in the studio. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Kwame. It's great to be here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation as well. You've been around for some time. What would you make 2 years? How do you shuttle between Accra, Monrovia, and Freetown to do your work?
Before I'm telling you how I'm shuttling between those three capitals, let me first of all start by congratulating the Black Stars for the great achievement.
Thank you.
I think I will be going wrong if I will not mention the amazing game yesterday. I think Ghana took everybody by surprise, and unfortunately Israel is not playing in the Mondial. Though I must tell you, just in case you will not ask me, that as we speak now, 25 Ghanaian players, men and women, are playing football in Israel for different Israeli teams. That's a secret that not many people know. So we are very much attached to the football scene in Ghana, and your draw yesterday is considered to be also an Israeli achievement in a way. So we identify very much with the Black Stars. and we wish them a lot of success down the road. I think there is another game on Saturday against Croatia, and I think Israelis are going to support Ghana strongly way back in Israel. As for your question, look, indeed we are covering 3 states, Ghana, Liberia and Sierra Leone. All Israeli embassies in Africa, like 10 embassies that has to cover nearly 50 states, are in charge of more than one state. So obviously most of our resources goes to Ghana because we are residents here. However, we try to maintain decent and strong relations both with Monrovia and Freetown. It's not easy, but it is doable.
Okay, I'm sure you're enjoying the time there. Are there plans, if I may ask, to deepen these ties in the areas that we mentioned earlier on? Because depending on the relationship you have with a certain government, there could be, conversations in particular areas. But you appear to be interested in issues around trade, agriculture, education, and technology. Are there plans to deepen those ties and make it a lot stronger?
So, first of all, let me say that relations between Israel and Ghana started way back in '56, 1 year before you even achieved your independence. We saw already the regional importance of Ghana, and we did open the office here in 1956. It became an embassy in 1957. Since then, the relationship are very stable under different governments, both here and in Israel. I think the relations goes deep, mainly to people. There is a lot of support to Israel here among Ghanaians. There is a lot of support to Ghana in Israel. Traditionally, I would say relations concentrated around agriculture. Agriculture is still a pillar of the relations. It is still a very important element of the relations. However, we do not turn a blind eye to new directions that Ghana, certainly this government is going. So I'm talking here about cybersecurity, I'm talking here about fintech, I'm talking about high-tech, things that Israel is known for. And we do follow very closely your economy. Your economy is booming. I think you've achieved more than 6% growth of GDP in the first quarter of 2026. This is very impressive. We follow your 24-hour economy, another promise that is there. So we are following very closely your economy, and we are happy to see your achievements, and we would like to be part of your success, mainly leaning on the old friendship between Ghana and Israel, and I think Israel can indeed contribute a lot to your economy.
You mentioned agriculture. What specific areas in agric are we looking at?
So traditionally we are talking about irrigation, greenhouses. Lately food security is being mentioned very often because that's a challenge. After harvest, post-harvest technologies, that's another challenge that Ghana meets, how to maintain the harvest, whether you're talking about fish or meat or grain. That's all those items that I mentioned: irrigation, greenhouse, post-harvest technologies are things that we are good at. This year we have managed to renew a very popular program that was there for many years, known as Agro Studies, excuse me, in which we take Ghanaian students for agriculture, and they get to spend 1 year out of the 4 years that they study here. You need to study here 4 years to get a BA in agriculture. And this program takes them to Israel for 11 months. This is one academic year in which they do both practical work and studies. It's a very popular program among African states. Unfortunately, because of different challenges, we had to freeze it for a year, and this year we are going to renew it for a pilot of 50 students. We are working very closely with your government to do it in the right way, and if indeed this pilot is going to be successful. Much more students will be able to go to Israel next year, because previously, because we had to freeze this program, around 200 students used to go to Israel every year, and upon returning to Ghana and completing their academic studies, they could be intertwined into the Ghanaian market and also use the technologies, the agro-technologies they studied in Israel. Our experience from this program that it is second to none, and if indeed this pilot next year with the 50 students will be successful, the door will be open to more students.
I'm sure there will be many students in the space of Agric who will be looking forward to the resumption of this deal with the State of Israel. But it's almost impossible to have a conversation with you again and not touch base with issues of technology. I mean, Israel is on a very high level when it comes to technology. At the governmental level, I'm sure every now and then there are conversations. But beyond, let's say, the governmental space alone, in the private sector, are you working with any organizations to improve a thing or two?
Actually, I would say on the governmental level, we just completed the annual political dialogue last January. It's a political dialogue that has to take place theoretically every year. It does take place every 2 years, in which we cement our relations with the government. To answer your question on the private sector, yes, there are Israeli companies that are involved here. I should not mention names, but I can mention the topics in the field of infrastructure, building roads, water resources. There is an Israeli company that is just now leading water in the Volta region by an intake from the Volta River. We are very much involved in the Volta region, the Greater Accra, in Northern region. So Israeli companies here are doing roads, they are doing water, they are doing agriculture, they are doing cyber security. Again, I mention it again, cyber security is becoming more and more important. But I believe that there is room for more Israeli companies. Actually, I think the Israeli community in Ghana nowadays might be the biggest Israeli community all over Africa.
Wow.
That is to say that maybe together with Kenya, that is to say that the number of Israeli companies that are acting here, that are active here, might be the biggest one all over African countries. We might be entering also into space industry, but here I'd like to be very careful because it's only the beginning of the conversation. And I think there is room for more Israeli companies. Next month we are going to host a Zoom conversation with Israeli companies under the title Doing Business in Ghana. That is our initiative together with the Ministry of Economic Affairs in Israel. So it's a special session. I mean, it will be hybrid. I will speak over the internet, and the idea is indeed to bring more Israeli companies to Ghana, again, to be part of your very successful 24-hour economy. So to sum it up, Kwame, there is a significant number of Israeli companies active now in the private sector in Ghana. However, we believe that your economy deserves the attention of more Israeli companies, and we are doing our utmost to bring Israeli business to Ghana.
Is it fair?
More Israeli business to Ghana, I should say.
Sure. Is it fair to say then that if you take a look at the African continent, you mentioned Ghana and Kenya, that's 54 African countries on the continent, and that's only 2. Is it fair to say that our economy, together with probably that of Kenya as well, offers a lot more in terms of business opportunities for Israeli organizations?
So that's a good question, Kwame, and I must tell you, I would hesitate to compare. First of all, that has to be said. I'm talking about Sub-Saharan Africa, and even in Sub-Saharan Africa, we do not have relations with all the states. So let's say with the 45 states, give and take, sub-Saharan African states that we do have relations with. I think Ghana stands in a very good position to attract Israeli business. Again, I don't have the ability to compare Ghana to other promising markets in the continent, as much as I follow the continent very closely. But I think Ghana has its own merit, has its own advantages to attract Israeli business. Again, there is here what might be the most significant number of Israeli companies active all over Africa. And we are trying to attract more. Again, these seminars that we are going to run in July under the title Doing Business in Ghana. It's something that we put a lot of attention. And if we didn't think that doing business in Ghana is good also for the Israeli companies, we wouldn't have this effort, this meeting, because again, we are here to represent Israeli interests. That has to be said, just like your embassy in Israel is representing Ghanaian interests. But we believe that in the business sector, the interests of Israel and Ghana meet and are doing already a lot, and we can do really even more.
What about opportunities for Ghanaian businesses with respect to the state of Israel? Do we do much? Do Ghanaian businesses do much at your end?
I think less. Again, one business, as I said, is exporting soccer players. The 25 that are still. By the way, our consulate has every day Israeli teams are bringing more and more football players from Ghana to play, or at least to test them. So if you consider football as an industry, that this is one industry where Ghana is doing a very good export. Other parts, I am not aware that much. I think Ghana is more into importing business from Israel. We are very much in exporting business. That has to be said also that because of the distance between the two countries, the main trade is on services, is not on commodities. That has to be said. Commodities trade is not so impressive, it's quite low. But commodities of trade, and I consider fintech as trade, cybersecurity is trade, some elements of security, so or as services, sorry. So the main exchange of trade between Israel and Ghana is not in the field of commodities, gold, cocoa, stuff like that Ghana is known for, but mainly in the exchange of services. Again, as I said, fintech, cybersecurity, and others. There is another element that we might be interested in going into. I know you face a serious challenge of the Galamsey and of polluted rivers. This is one area that we are investigating as well, the possibility of Israeli technology to help you deal with this challenge of polluted water that is an outcome of the Galamsey.
Well, we're having a great time with the Israeli ambassador to Ghana and discussing issues of interest to you, our listener, and of course to the Ghanaian business community as well. We'll do a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with our conversation with His Excellency Roey Gilad. are great. We looked at technology, we looked at education and all of that. Now we want to go a little deeper into these conversations and start from the area of food security and water. Food is a very big conversation everywhere, and these days countries are looking at opportunities of doing a thing or two to improve what they produce. The Israelis have great skills when it comes to issues of irrigation and when it comes to new farming technologies and tying that to water, which His Excellency has made mention of there. You mentioned the case of the Volta region, for example. Is that a case of an Israeli organization, coming in as an investor, doing business, or training our people there to at some point be able to also come up with a thing or two to improve, if you like, production of a thing or two in that side of town?
So let's take this project as an example, just because I visited this project 2 weeks ago. So indeed, the Ghana Water Authority is using the services of an Israeli company that is known for those projects. And their whole idea is to take water from the Volta River, to treat the water, and then to lead them all the way down to Quetta region, nearly 70 kilometers in pipelines that are in the ground. So obviously the leadership is under the responsibility of the Israeli company known as Lessico. But surely people that are working, and then people that are working in this project, the understanding is that the transfer of know-how and technology is part of the deal. So I'm just bringing this project as a sample. We have similar projects all over the country. Another topic, by the way, Kwame, I didn't mention before, we talk much about agriculture, but aquaculture is another area we are now going into. We hosted in Israel the Minister for Aquaculture and Fisheries, the Honorable Emilia Arthur. We hosted lately also the Deputy Minister of Agriculture. Again, we are open for business, and we are very open to the request of the Ghanaian government. Again, we have now, as I mentioned to you before, Kwame, the new pilot that is going to host 50 of your agriculture students in Israel. This is something that we give a lot of, I would say, attention to make sure that this pilot is true. So to sum it up, every Israeli project here, either in the field of water in Volta region, or buying roads, or houses, involve also some element of technology transfer and know-how transfer. So Ghanaian engineers that are working for Israeli companies here, at the end of the day, it is expected that they will also absorb Israeli technology and can use it later on in their own businesses. So this is certainly part of the deal.
Let's move away from that a bit and focus on issues of technology, like we started earlier on. For many, Israel comes across as that space that has loads of startups. Every now and then you're coming up with a new thing. What is contributing to this level of success in that space?
In Israel, you mean?
Yes.
I think in Israel we have a unique partnership between four elements. The government. Some people say that the best contribution of the government is not to destroy the rest, but I would say the government on one end, the industry on another end, the academy on the third end, and on the fourth end, the army. Israeli IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, has units that are known for their advantage in technology. 8200 is a famous Israeli unit that is known to produce many people with skills in the field of high tech. So this combination of those four elements, again, the government on top, and then the academy, the industry, and the Israeli Defense Forces have created, I would say, a unique atmosphere that eventually allows the Israeli high-tech industry to flourish and to reach the place we have reached. And again, also here, I think Ghana can be relevant to this industry. We know and we follow closely your initiative for 1 million coders. I think this is how it's known, under the Ministry of Digital Affairs, Minister Sam George. And we are following it very closely because currently there is a lack of coders in Israel. And our industry is leaning on coders from India, from East Europe. And I'm saying, if indeed this initiative of 1 million coders is successful, and Ghana produces good coders in a competitive price, then why not bringing Israeli business here? You know, the high-tech, you don't need a huge cargo to bring, it's not like that you export cocoa, you need cargo and ships. To exchange know-how in the field of high-tech, you only need computer. So it's, in one sense, it's much easier than the, I would say, traditional trade of cocoa and sugar and stuff like that. So I would say carefully that the sky is the limit, and much of it is in the hands of Ghana.
Are there opportunities for young Ghanaians or people who have even been around the tech space for some time to collaborate with Israeli firms in that regard?
Yes, I think I'm not talking about taking business in Israel. I'm talking about Israeli companies that are leaning on coders and other young Ghanaian successful people in the field of technology that are based here in Ghana, in Accra, and giving services to Israeli companies that are based in Israel. This is what we have in mind. Again, it started already. It's not that we are reinventing the wheel, but with your very impressive economy on one end, again, I said your economy had a growth of 6.4% in the first quarter of the year. It's very impressive. And the Israeli known, I would say, success in the field of high-tech. So we are following it very carefully. There are already achievements, but as I said, there is still a lot of room to go. The embassy is doing its utmost to bring more Israeli business here. I mentioned before the seminar we are going to host, doing business in Ghana. And I think this interest is mutual. And whenever there is a mutual interest, or usually, it also promises success. We are working on it. You know, I don't want to make promises that it will be impossible for us to fulfill later on. So we try to deliver what we can deliver. Again, look, Kwame, Israel is not a superpower. That has to be said. And Israel has also currently, maybe we'll speak about it later on, what I would call a challenging geopolitical situation. But within this, I would say, challenges, I think Israel pays a lot of attention to Africa in general and to Ghana in particular. I think Ghana has might be the most stable state in West Africa, politically, economically, democracy-wise. I think your banking system here might be second to none in West Africa. So on top of all the small details we spoke before, one has to speak about the macro economy and the macro situation of Ghana. And I think this stability of Ghana, which has to be said is quite unique in Africa and quite unique in West Africa if you're looking at what is happening in the Sahel. So this stability, both political stability and economic stability, does attract and can attract even more Israeli business.
Let's look at issues of health and medical cooperation as well. Are there any existing health partnerships between Ghana and Israel as we speak?
So Israel was very much involved, a private Israeli company, in building this wonderful hospital that is adjacent to the University of Ghana. This hospital that many of your listeners, they know this hospital, it's not so far from here, was built by an Israeli company, and it's actually a copy of a model of an Israeli hospital.
Is it a UGMC?
Yes, indeed, and it is built. The model of the hospital is built after an Israeli famous hospital called Sheba, and after they built the hospital, there was much of support, professional support. Physicians from here went to Israel. Israeli physicians came over here to, I would say, to work together with Ghanaian physicians. This is one element of partnership in the field of health. I would say that here we need to do more. There were some clinics of neonatal that Israel opened in Kumasi, at least 2 clinics that we've opened way back. We did already significant things, but for me as an ambassador, this is one area where we need to do more, because what we did here, both in Accra and Kumasi, was already quite way back, and I think we need to do more.
Is our government pushing for more in that regard?
Look, Israeli support here is being done mainly through an arm which is known. If you're talking about government cooperation, our development aid agency is known as Mashav. Many people here are graduate of Mashav. It's a little bit like what you call the GIZ or the USAID. So this is the government development arm. On top of it, next to it, there is the private sector, which has different interests, but still both of it, the government and the private sector, are cooperating. Unlike the field of agriculture and cybersecurity and aquaculture, I tell you frankly that in the field of health, we did things in the past, but we need to do more.
The thing with the health sector is that depending on what you have to offer, there's a chance that people may move from one part of the world to, let's say, your country to come experience that. I see in recent times people going to the Far East. I see people going to Europe if they can afford, people going to North America if they can afford. What are the kind of services that Israel has to offer so that the Ghanaian who is thinking of possibly accessing some of these medical services can get them?
So I think 2 things. First of all, know-how, and then technology. As for know-how, what we call also capacity building, there are Israeli physicians that are still coming over here, mainly in the field of neonatal health. Those are small babies that have just been born, and some of them are facing challenges. And there are Ghanaian physicians that are going to train in Israeli hospitals. This is under the title of capacity building or know-how transfer. The other arm is technology transfer. This is being done both by the government and the private sector. Obviously, Israeli cutting-edge technologies goes also in the field of health. The hospital we spoke about that is adjacent to the University of Ghana has also a lot of Israeli cutting-edge equipment. Again, I'm telling you, Kwame, that this health is one area where we could and should do more.
Okay, I'm sure there will be some Ghanaians who will be paying attention to this and will possibly find their way to somewhere in Jerusalem or Tel Aviv or Ashkelon or any of these towns and possibly get a service or two from there. Let's look at issues to do with climate change and extend that into the water conversations as well. The other day I was reading a report about what the state of Israel has done when it comes to the treatment of water, and I found it very, very interesting indeed, because these days depending on where you find yourself on the planet, a fair bit of water is getting polluted and contaminated. But you seem to have found a way of managing that. I mean, how have you done it, if I may ask?
So first of all, I don't know if this is what you meant, but when you go to Tel Aviv, Ashkelon, Jerusalem, Haifa, the water that you drink is desalinated water from the sea, from the ocean. All the water that you drink in Israel is desalinated water. We treat sewage water for certain uses of agriculture. I think the reason why Israel have developed such extremely successful technologies in the field of water treatment and water management is the reason that we have no water. Once you have no water, you are pushed to develop technologies that can face this challenge. So it is the need that actually creates the success, and we are very proud of what we've achieved in this field. As for Israeli involvement or activity in Ghana in this field, as I mentioned before, Kwame, we know that you face a serious challenge of polluted rivers following the phenomena of galamsey. This is one area that for me as an ambassador I would like to investigate more, because I believe that Israeli technology in the field of treating water might be relevant and help you to address this challenge of polluted water, polluted rivers. I saw some of those rivers, it really looks bad, and I think this is one area where we would like to push and bring more Israeli technology to deal with this topic. Traditional other topics of delivering water to houses, as we are doing in Volta. I spoke about it before, but one area where we would like to develop even more is to treat some of your water rivers that have been polluted following galamsey.
That's a good one. And if we can extend the conversation into the transformation of lands for agric purposes, that also appears to be an area that you are very good at. It's one thing to have land, it's another thing if you can transform the land for some good agricultural purposes. What is the secret in there as well when it comes to the transformation of land for agricultural purposes?
So listen, I'm not sure I know exactly what you mean, but let me say this. Israel have started as an agricultural land. When we were established in 1948, 10 years before Ghana was established as an independent state, most of our economy was leaning on agriculture. That has changed. Israel is not an agricultural state anymore, it's much more into high-tech. And again, it's because of the need. We don't have much land. You know, Ghana is 10 times bigger than Israel. So Israel eventually is a very small state. We don't have land. We have the agriculture is not a huge part of our economy, and yet because we consider food security to be a strategic issue, you know, with all the challenges that Israel is facing, we are supplying our own needs for agriculture, for bread, for you name it, for fruits, for vegetables. So for meat, for fish, we actually are leaning on our agriculture, which eventually takes much smaller part of our GDP. The situation in Ghana is different. At the end of the day, Ghana is still an agricultural land. Again, we spoke about cybersecurity, we spoke about fintech, we spoke about high-tech. At the end of the day, I think it will be agreed that most of your economy is leaning on agriculture. Again, you can run a very conservative agriculture that will produce less, but leaning on Israeli cutting-edge technologies, you can produce much more on the same acre of land that the Ghanaian farmers are having. We are trying to do our utmost. I think, again, if you look back at the last 70 years of cooperation, nearly 70 since your independence, agriculture was the main item of the partnership. It is still is, and in all the, I would say, under all the titles that I mentioned before, not only land transforming, but greenhouses, irrigation, post-harvest. So altogether, I think we've managed to create kind of, I would say, support to the field of agriculture that at the end of the day is the backbone of your economy.
That's a good one, and would love to see those, especially in areas where we appear to have very good land, but ultimately it's what we produce from the land that matters. If you have a small acre of land and you can use it to produce so much, I believe it serves us a lot better.
For instance, we've been in touch lately with a famous Ghanaian concern in the field of agriculture, Agri-Impact. We might cooperate with them. It's a well-known, huge company that is doing agri-business in in Ghana. We just had a meeting with them. We might bring them to Israel to introduce to them Israeli technology, and we are open for more companies that would like in the field of agriculture and agri-tech, and as agribusiness, so and as I said before, aquaculture, that would like to visit Israel and see Israeli technology in their own eyes. Seeing is believing.
Along those lines, the conversations on climate change would always come up every now and then, and the actions and inactions of nation states in, if you like, either worsening the problem or making the problem better off. Are we collaborating in any way or form, as the state of Israel and that of Ghana, to, if you like, address the concerns that come up every now and then concerning climate change?
I think climate change is a global challenge.
Class 91.3 FM.
Israel is very active in the international fora in the field of addressing climate change. Much of our technology nowadays is trying to address this challenge that, as I said before, is a global one. It's not something that threatens only Ghana and Israel, it threatens the world, the global community. Again, at the end of the day, everything that we do here in the field of water resources, in the field of agriculture, in the field of aquaculture, at the end of the day, it helps the global combat against climate change. There isn't any specific programs that I can mention, bilateral program between Israel and Ghana in this field, a direct program. However, Israeli scientists and Ghanaian scientists are cooperating mainly in the international arena, in the international fora, in addressing this challenge that, as I said before, is not challenging only Ghana and only Israel, but indeed is challenging the international community.
Let's look at areas of tourism and cultural exchange. If I want to take my next vacation and I'm thinking of traveling to Israel, what are the attractions in there for me?
I think most of Ghanaian tourism to Israel is leaning on religious sites, both Muslims but mainly Christians. They want to go to see the holy sites in Israel, mainly in Jerusalem, Church of the Holy Sepulchre, Sea of Galilee, where Jesus walked upon the water. So I would say the majority of Ghanaian tourists that are going to Israel, look, Israel is far. It's not a cheap country. It's an expensive country. We do not get huge number of tourists from Ghana coming to Israel. But those that are coming, usually they're coming groups from different churches here in Ghana. They are seeking the religious sites, again, in the Galilee, in Nazareth, in Jerusalem. And I would say this is the strongest drive to bring Ghanaian tourists to Israel, which again is, you need 2 flights. The price of the flight, unfortunately, is not cheap. You don't have any direct flights between Ghana and Israel. Maybe you'll have in the future, but currently you don't have. So I would say going to Israel in some aspect is an odyssey. It's nearly like having a Hajj to the religious places in Saudi Arabia. It involves an effort. It involves, I would say, a significant economic investment for the, I would say, for the average Ghanaian tourist. But those that are going, and we do encourage it, are mainly interested, again, in the religious sites that are so popular in Israel, for Islam, but mainly for Christianity.
Are there
of course,
issues
for Judaism?
Okay. Are there issues with visa requirements if you want to come to Israel on an exchange program for tourism reasons?
Well, frankly, surely you need a visa. We had an issue in the past of Ghanaians that are not respecting the terms of their visa and they overstay in Israel. And Israel, just like Ghana and just like the United States and just like Europe, is sensitive to guests who do not respect their commitment. If the visa allows you to stay 3 months and you stay longer than that, then it is not good. It's a mutual problem. So we did have this challenge in the past. I hope we've managed to iron those differences between us and your government. Last December we had an issue. I hope we've managed to iron the difficulties that we had, and I do hope that in the future we'll see less of this challenge, because this challenge of Ghanaians staying in Israel against the terms of their visa might cast a shadow on the traffic of tourists, and that's something we don't want to happen. We want more and more Israeli tourists to come over here. We want more and more Ghanaian tourists to go to Israel. Look, Kwame, overall, when you speak about bilateral relations, you speak about G2G, which is government to government. You speak about B2B, which is business to business. I think the most important element might be the third one, which is known as P2P, people to people. Tourism is part of P2P, people to people. Culture is part of people to people. Football, as we mentioned before, is part of people to people. So among those three, this triangle of government to government, business to business, and people to people, the people to people at the end of the day might be the most important element. You know, we are doing quite a lot in the field of culture. We have brought lately in the last 2 years Israeli dancers over here, Israeli musicians over here, Israeli theater producers over here. We are going to host soon our second Israeli Film Festival on the 30th of August. It's going to be only 1 day. Last year we held a whole week. So we believe that people to people is a very important element of the bilateral relations. And if you speak about people to people, you speak also about culture. Again, I consider also sports to be part of it. This is eventually what cements the relations. You know, business can go up and down, government to government can go up and down, but people to people, it stays stable. At the end of the day, this is the base of the other two elements. So the government to government and the business to business are actually leaning on the people to people.
How about cultural exchange programs? You would see that normally happening all over the world. I mean, these days, people wanting to have an experience of a particular nation state for one reason or the other. Is that something that is in vogue at your end?
Indeed. So I mentioned already the football. Let me not speak about it more. In the field of theater, music, cinema, this is an exchange. We bring Israeli artists to Ghana. We brought a dancer, we brought a theater producer, we brought a jazz band, we brought Israeli cinema, and we are hosting every year, we have a famous program known as Exposure, in which we expose Israeli different elements of culture to Ghanaians. So we would like to bring, I don't want to mention names, but this year we are going to bring some Ghanaian dancers to Israel, some people in the field of theater here. I myself, I'm following theater since I was very young. It's my hobby, and I'm following the theater scene here. Actually, I'm going very soon to see another play. We go and see your plays. Again, I don't want to mention names here, but some of your playwrights are very good. It's also my wish to bring Ghanaian culture to Israel, maybe to play a Ghanaian theater play in Israel, but this is, you need two for tango. My main responsibility is to bring Israeli culture to Ghana. The main responsibility of bringing Ghanaian culture to Israel is on the shoulder of your embassy, of your government, and your embassy in Israel. We do give a lot of importance to this field of culture. Again, with quite a modest budget. I think we did much in the last 2 years, and we do intend to do even more in the future. Again, I would invite Ghanaian people to attend the Israeli second film festival that is going to take place on Sunday, the 30th of August at the Silverbird Theater here in Accra. In the future, we might even take it out to to Kumasi and other places. That's an idea I need to think about. We are very proud of what we achieved in this field. Another field, by the way, well, that is, we didn't mention, we didn't ask about it, excuse me, is academy. There is a strong partnership between Israeli universities and Ghanaian universities. I'm talking about University of Ghana, I'm talking about Kwame University of Science and Technology in Kumasi, I'm talking about Academic City, I'm talking about Ashesi University, I'm talking about many universities that I will not mention here. Again, 5 of those universities will be part of this pilot that I mentioned before of sending agricultural students to Israel. I'm a great believer in the partnership between universities. You know, in the university, basically you nurture the future leadership of Ghana and the future leadership of Israel. And that's another, you didn't ask me about it, but I would like to say that academic partnership, academic cooperation is an important element. I just met lately official from your government that told me that his father studied engineering in Israel way back in Haifa many years ago. So, you know, you plant a seed and eventually you get a nice tree.
And it grows very well. Well, let's wrap up the conversations we're having. It's almost impossible to have a rep from Israel on a platform without discussing security and, of course, all the geopolitical issues in the Middle East. Let's first start off with security tied with counterterrorism and all of that. What are the major challenges that you face? I mean, the stories have been told for many years, from the creation of your state in 1948 till now. What are the major challenges that you face that has gotten everyone literally involved from a global perspective?
So Kwame, I think historically, the main challenge that we faced from 48, when we were established as an independent state, again 10 years before Ghana achieved its independence, So the main challenge we faced between 48 and the late 70s was the lack of will of our Arab neighbors to recognize the state of Israel. However, since then, since the late 70s till nowadays, we have managed to establish peaceful relations with Egypt in 1979, with Jordan in 1994, and then on under the Abraham Accords with Morocco, with Bahrain, with the UAE, and hopefully other countries might come along. However, nowadays, the biggest challenge that we have is not so much with the Arab countries that are surrounding Israel, as much as it is with what is known as an armed non-state actors. So it's not so much the challenge of the state, it is the challenge of the non-state actors. I'm talking about Hezbollah in Lebanon. I'm sure your listeners have heard it now.
We're very familiar with that.
Day out. I'm talking about the Hamas and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad in Gaza. I'm talking about the Houthis in Yemen. All those that are known as non-state actors are actually proxies that are being supported by one state that is really trying to cast a heavy shadow on the Middle East, which is Iran, that is supporting all those non-state actors, or if you wish, proxies, trying to undermine not only Israel. As you saw in the last war, Iran is trying to bring down all its neighbors in the Gulf. The UAE, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, even Qatar and Oman. Iran is a source of instability, not only for Israel, but for all over the Middle East. And they are doing it by using those proxies that I mentioned before, the non-state actors. So I believe that in a nutshell, this is the main challenge that Israel is addressing nowadays. I think we are strong enough to address this challenge. It does come with a price. We have lost, since the last round of violence, we lost more than 30 soldiers in South Lebanon. Well, that has to be said. We are fighting against a terror organization, Hezbollah, that is also trying to undermine the status of the government in Beirut. The government in Beirut, there is nothing that they want more than to see the Hezbollah just leaving Lebanon. Hezbollah is an Iranian element which is installed in the heart of Lebanon, serving the interest of Iran, not serving the interest of Lebanon. We could have signed a peace agreement with Lebanon tomorrow. As we speak now, actually yesterday, another round of talks started between Israel and Lebanon in Washington. We are currently discussing with Beirut on two tracks, a military track and a political track. However, the most difficult challenge that we are facing is that the government in Lebanon, when you speak with Beirut, there are so many elements there that are trying to undermine the status of the government in Beirut by attacking Israel. The same thing we have with the Palestinians. There is the Palestinian Authority, which is basically more modest, and maybe they would like to live next to Israel. And yet there are non-state actors, there are terrorists like Hamas and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad that I mentioned before, who don't want to live next to Israel, but they want to live instead of Israel. And that is something that we cannot agree to. So there are moderates in the Arab world. Most of the Arab states, the Sunni Arab states, are moderate. They would like to see stability. However, there is one element, Iran, that do not want to see stability in the Middle East, do not want to see a Jewish state in the Middle East. They believe that there is no room for a Jewish state, and they are using all those terrorists, all those proxies that I mentioned before. It is a serious challenge. It is different, as I said, than the challenge we had before with the state actors. Now it's a challenge with non-state actors. However, Israel is strong enough to deal with this challenge. not without the price. As I said before, there is a very expensive price for us in human being life, but we are willing to pay this very expensive price in order to stay as a Jewish, stable, prosperous, and strong state in the Middle East.
I'm sure that's what the entire world would want to see, but at what point are we ever going to see lasting peace in that side of the world? It looks like every now and then, it looks like there's a break, there's a pause, and then something triggers something, and unfortunately we find ourselves having to discuss not just the state of Israel, but practically everyone in that space. Would we ever have lasting peace?
You know, Kwame, it's very easy nowadays to be pessimist. Yet, I always like to look at the half full of the glass. This is the bottle, but the half full of the glass, not the empty half. If you would interview the Israeli ambassador here in 1957, when you just, I don't know how many years this station is on the ground?
We've been around since 2015.
2015, okay. But let's say a radio station in Ghana would interview the first Israeli ambassador here in 1957, and you would tell him that Israel will have a peace agreement with Egypt, a peace agreement with Jordan, a peace agreement with Morocco, a peace agreement with United Arab Emirates, a peace agreement with Bahrain, and would conduct talks to establish peace with Lebanon, he would tell you this is a dream. This cannot happen. So things can happen. Things can happen.
What is holding it out from happening? What is holding it out from happening?
Currently, unfortunately, as I told you, Kwame, there is one element which is unfortunately the Islamic Republic of Iran, a member of the United Nations that calls for the destruction and the annihilation of another state, Israel. This is unheard of. We had, I would say, land issues with some of our neighbors, so we sorted out the problem we had with Egypt by giving them back a lot of land. Jordan, it was less of a land issue. We can deal with all our neighbors. Currently, I'm talking about Syria and Lebanon, where we do not have peaceful relations yet, unless there is an involvement of terrorists. If you would remove the involvement of the Iranian-influenced terrorists from the geopolitical map of the Middle East, if Lebanon would have been without Hezbollah, if the Palestinian would have been without Hamas and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and if Yemen would have been without the Houthis, if you would remove all those elements that are trying to derail the relations between Israel and its neighbors, you would see a much peaceful Middle East. And let me tell you this, I know we are running short of time. I think it is the responsibility of all the states in the world, including Ghana, to tell Iran enough is enough. There is a limit to the damage you can create in the Middle East. Israel and Syria and Lebanon and even the Yemenite government, we would like to live in peace. We can live in peace. Again, just as we establish peaceful relations with 5 Arab states, we can do with all the Arab states. Iran is not an Arab state. Iran is a Muslim state, but it's not an Arab. It's not a Sunni state, it's a Shia state. So, reducing or bringing an end to the negative involvement of Iran in the business of the Middle East, Israel can achieve peace with Lebanon. We are just discussing it as we speak now, Kwame, you and I here. There are talks in Washington. We can even achieve with Syria, even though it is more challenging. There are challenges, but it is doable. We can, and that, if we achieve peace with Lebanon and Syria, Saudi Arabia will follow, the rest of the Gulf states, Qatar, and others will follow as well. It is challenging, but it is doable. However, we need to put an end to the destructive activity of Iran and its proxies in the Middle East, and then I believe we shall see a different Middle East.
Your Excellency, Roey Gilad, it's been great having you in our studio this morning. Hopefully we would have an opportunity to engage you again and discuss other issues of not just national interest, but continental and global interest as well. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Kwame, for hosting me again. I'd like to end by wishing the Black Stars much success against Croatia. On Saturday, I believe. Your success is our success. So I really wish you a lot of success, and we'll pray for your achievements in the Mondial, also in the next stages.
We appreciate that. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Thank you, sir.
So that was the Israeli ambassador here in Ghana. We touched base with a number of issues. So if you have any concerns, the public affairs desk of the Israeli embassy would be able to address it beyond the space as well. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us this morning for breakfast. This is Class 91.3 FM.
You're
not had the opportunity to read any message this morning. This one says, Kwame, water training is not for the weak. Okay, I'm sure it was to do with the Black Stars and all of that, and those conversations we're having. Juliet in Kaswa says, good morning to you, Kwame. In fact, travelers using the Kaswa Stretch to Accra are going through heavy traffic due to the bad road. First off, from Kaswa around 5 a.m. You say, I set off from Kaswa around 5 a.m. today, and I'm still at SCC. This is bad. The Kokrobiti route is always rough. The authorities should find a solution to this. I feel sad as a Guinean. Juliet, you send this one. this one says, "Good morning, Kwame. Yesterday, Ghana was robbed with a penalty." We got a point. That's what matters. Don't worry. It's very sad. The match officials also did not call the referee to check the VAR. I think we were robbed because of the party issues. Christian Ameko, you sent this from Boom. Thank you very much, Christian, for your message. This one says, "Good morning. I'm Eben from Kwabinya. Applause to the Black Stars for making the country proud. We're proud of all the players, especially Benjamin Asari, for the good goal keeping." Okay. Greetings to the Honorable Julius Debra, the Honorable Peter Akwesi Mensah, and the Honorable MC of Ghana East. Okay. Thank you. This one says, "Good morning, brothers. Even DVLA is under Bone Katamansu. They should just divide this constituency." Well, it's come up a number of times. It's a very big one, and the numbers are also huge. Over 500,000 people live in that space alone. I don't know how they carved out such a huge constituency all of those years ago. This one is coming from Masawood in Kumasi, Bansama. You say, when the NDC were in opposition, they deceived the good people of Ghana by lambasting the MPP administration. It seems they have the magic to transform Ghana's economy, and we speak Ghana. Okay, I don't really get it. You say, "Very soon we shall see the true colors of the umbrella. The reset they promised was a scam and deceptive." Still about Mia Beba. This one says, "Kwame, good morning. I asked the same question on my Facebook wall. Has he, the commissioner, been tamed by the same system he's trying to correct? Kwame, we're in Ghana and we know the system. His long silence is making me suspect him that the landlords have closed his mouth." Why is the rent commissioner quiet these days? Ask Dr. Anand for me. He's here. He'll respond. This one says, okay, Auntie Abba, this one says, "There's a menace rearing its ugly head in our country, and it's not coming from the youth, but by parents who are supposed to know better. How can a parent present a car in school to his child after the completion of senior high school exam, and we do not even know whether the child has passed the exam or not? What will be given to such a ward after first degree then? It is nobody's business what you give to your child, but please do it in your home. Do these irresponsible parents know what they do to other kids from deprived homes? Pressure upon pressure will come on parents who cannot afford simple things for their children. This practice must stop." Auntie Abba sends this one. Auntie Abba, thank you. Davi Sena says, "Good morning, Kwame. To address the inadequate and poor road infrastructure, poor public means of transport, and too many private vehicles plying the limited routes, can't we introduce the odd and even vehicle numbering system, where odd and even numbered vehicles ply the routes in Accra on alternate days, as Nigeria did some time ago?" Davisena sends this one. Okay, maybe the ministry will consider this at some point. I just hope my people will heed to if we ever have to do that. People are just stubborn, they won't. "Good morning. What prevents them to provide bus lanes on the new roads under construction? They have ice, yet they can't see. They travel elsewhere. Don't they see all of these things? They are blind. They lack ideas. They are schoolmasters. Our engineers are also not helping us with the designs. The roundabouts, you say, are too small. Interchanges are badly designed." Daniel in Adenta, you send this one. Okay, Danny sends this one. This one says, "Good morning, Kwame. You've done your part. The authorities are not ready, and they will be sorry for it. A government came and dismantled the rail inherited before leaving major areas and having no more tracks. What is that government feeling? If this current government cared, a common rehabilitation could have been done in a better way." Okay, thank you very much for that. This one says, okay, Julius, you say, it says, "Please, okay, you have a problem with government paying attention to the issues that we raise here. Okay, well, our job is to ensure that we keep on making the right noises, and government would act in that regard." Francis in Accra says, "In fact, we the floating voters who risk our lives and face the MPP in the 7th of December 2024 elections face the arrows if the MPP won power." Okay, I don't really get it. You see, just can't get GM and his NDC governments. Why would they sit and allow PRC to increase tariffs of ECG and again and again? If they do what is better for them, they should move in to stop this tariff increase. Is this what people voted for in the 2024 elections? Francis, you send this one. Okay. This one simply says, yesterday the Black Stars was great. You don't add your name. Okay, we're all excited about that. Yeah. Hopefully we'll go very far in the competition. And this one says, in our next game against Canada, we are not playing against Canada, we're playing against Croatia. We say in our next game, Ghana will draw again. Why are you people like this? Ghana will draw again. Say, you don't want us to win. Anyway, it's your opinion, and I respect this. Let me take a last one, and then we'll wrap up the conversations in the studio. This one says, it is only in... okay, I don't get it. You say it's only in the NDC era that someone like Akofina can be giving a bail condition of 500,000. I don't get the connection. This has to do with the police issues. I don't know what the party has done as far as the arrest of an individual and the bail terms are concerned. I don't know what the NDC's role in this one is, but anyway, I respect your opinion. You can still send your messages to WhatsApp number 0500,000 202 0500,000 202. Doc is still here with me. Doc, you had some issues with rent. They say, has your man been silenced?
Not at all. I said to you this morning that he's not been silenced. In fact, the rent control
the
department,
people that he's trying to, in as much as he's trying to do the right thing, the very powerful people are keeping.
No. In fact, to the contrary, the government is fully in support of the operations. In fact, this conversation, to all intents and purposes, has been a conversation very worrying to the ordinary Ghanaian. And so, this work and this whole move or wind from the rent control department led by Commissioner Frederick Opoku is rightly placed, and people are really excited about it. Government, I must say, he has the full support of the ministry. And if he has the full support of the ministry, you are safe to say that government is in full support.
He's gone quiet.
No, it's not gone quiet. It is because, you see, when you take an action, you would want to now come back and reflect on the next thing to do. And that's exactly what the department is doing. Don't forget that I said this morning that it's a novel. And so sometimes the actions and then the inactions and even the operational structure of that particular entity would always have to go through a certain review after every move. And that's exactly what is happening. And so he's not being called to submission. No. He's not being called to submission at all. We have said, in fact, when I speak to him, I get a sense that if any move by anybody to, as it were, couch him into submission or any other thing, Kwame, it will not fly.
The powerful forces.
Worst case is that Ubaju Ejuma. It's as simple as that. Every do Ejuma, fine.
The powerful forces, they own the hostels and those places.
But why? It is the same powerful forces. He went to their various. He knows that they are the powerful forces, and he went there.
And they called him to order.
Nobody has called him to order. If they like, they should increase. If they like, they should increase. Do the increment to their hostels, and they will see. So in fact, there's going to be. I'm told there's going to be a stakeholders meeting. In fact, he wrote to all the hostel managers or the owners or the whoever for a stakeholders meeting to be able to come to a very good understanding of what needs to do. Definitely not an increment, but there should be some conversation around all of these hostel fees hikes and all that, so that the owners at least benefit, tenants would also benefit, so that there's some harmony and decency when it comes to the pricing of some of these hostels. It cannot be the case that students are paying 12,000 and 10,000 and 9,000 for hostel fees and what have you. It cannot be the case in this country, Kwame. It cannot. So people should be rest assured that That is why today in the dailies you've seen that he's spoken again that any tenant, any landlord who is taking more than 6 months from you, per the rules of engagement, per the laws of this country, you should come and report the person. If you decide to, as it were, think that then so you would comply and later come and complain, that's your own matter.
Okay. I've got a message for you from
Let me hear that message.
Good morning, Kwame. Please kindly ask Doc if it is legitimate for a landlord to charge tenants. I need to slow down. Toilet fee.
But the commissioner himself was here, and he said that there's nothing like toilet fee.
In this country, we hear things.
But
I'll be said as well. I'll be you kill me.
But he explained that
I know they charge all kinds of things.
Yes, he explained that
this one.
He explained that sometimes because you also do the thing. So it makes sense. It is morally right that at least there's that conversation. And in all of this conversation, it should be documented. If it's in the agreement, it is best serving both parties so that one day the tenant will not wake up and say mintia, or the landlord is also coming at you to say that you have to pay. I mean, it should be documented so that when there's any litigation and you come to the rent control department, they ask you about your rent tenancy agreement, and if all these things are embedded in the the matter is solved. Other than that, then the matter would have to be dealt with at their own level. And so I don't know about any that thing you talked about. No, it cannot be the case. But there should be that moral understand. Morality would have to come.
It is, put it on paper. That's all.
Just put it on paper. That's what he's always. But Kwame, before you go, this thing about people presenting vehicles and all sorts of things to the awards when they pass examination and all that in there. I heard you do that. Have that conversation with.
That must have been. Was
it Monday or something? Yeah, I heard you. I was listening to you guys. Kwame. In fact, I had cause to put it on my status. I had cause to put on my status that. In fact, for this reason, government should take a second look at the free SHS.
I don't understand.
Yes.
Where's the?
It is connected. For somebody, if you can afford a vehicle. Buy a brand new car for your ward, for passing, for finishing, not passing, for completing SHS. What you buy the person a car, and you want to benefit after in this program of free SHS.
This is 1 out of thousands. So you can't use only that.
It wasn't one. It was all over.
Oh, it cannot be that all the parents in that school board.
I'm not saying all the parents.
So maybe a tiny.
Does it not bring the conversation back to this conversation where, and this is why I even agree with Ken Oforiatta. At the time when we were implementing free SHS, and some big wigs in the NPP party at the time, they told President Akufo-Addo that, listen, this thing, let us find a way of allowing those who want to pay, so that government can be free. Can free some SS funds to do other things for this nation. I am saying that if this is what parents can do.
Okay, I hear you. Let me make some money and go away. I know you buy a helicopter when you.
Where are you going, my friend?
My time is up. 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 My time is up.